Alright, Goku joins the Teen Titans. Episode 1 of the Teen Titans Saga. Alright, let's get to it. Superman soared through the sky with Goku in tow, the wind whipping past them as they approached the towering structure known as the Titans Tower. The building was sleek, modern, and imposing, a perfect base for the young heroes. Goku's eyes widened as they descended down, taking in the high-tech design. Goku grinned, landing beside his brother Superman. This place is way bigger than I expected. You guys really went all out, huh? Superman chuckled. Batman did most of it. It's got everything you'll need. Training rooms, living quarters, even a hangar for vehicles. Goku crossed his arms, nodding approvingly. Right, so where's this team you were talking about? Superman gestured towards the entrance inside. And inside, Batman and Robin were already waiting. As they stepped into the tower's main hall, Goku couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and uncertainty. He wasn't used to being in charge of anything, let alone an entire team. But he was excited to test out the training room. That was one thing that was for certain. Inside the tower's command center, Batman stood with Robin, his voice low and measured. Your primary mission hasn't changed, Batman said, his gaze unwavering. But there's an additional objective now. Goku is strong, but he's also unpredictable. I need you to observe him. Report back to me on his decisions, his combat style, and anything that could be a potential liability. Robin frowned. You want me to spy on him? Batman's expression remained unreadable. I want to ensure that this team succeeds. Goku has power, but power without discipline is dangerous. If he steps out of line, I need to know. Robin hesitated, but nodded, understood. Before he could say more, the door slid open and Superman entered with Goku in tow. Goku's face lit up when he saw Batman despite their past disagreements. Hey, Bats, long time no see. Batman gave a curt nod. Goku. Superman stepped forward. We've discussed the plan. Goku's agreed to help lead this team you've put together. Robin studied Goku carefully, sizing him up. So you're the guy who took down the Weather Wizard and Lex Luthor. Goku rubbed the back of his head, grinning. Yeah, but I had some help. Teamwork's kind of new to me, though. Batman crossed his arms. That's why you're here. Robin will assist you in coordinating missions. The other two members will arrive soon. Superman placed a hand on Goku's shoulder. You'll do great. Just trust your instincts. With that, Batman and Superman departed, leaving Goku and Robin alone in the tower. An hour later, the elevator door opened, revealing two new arrivals. The first was a hulking figure, half human, half machine. His red cybernetic eyes scanned the room. Named Cyborg, he said, his voice deep and steady. The second was a green-skinned boy who immediately shape-shifted into a puppy. Then back to his human form with a grin. And I'm Beast Boy. Goku laughed. No way. You can turn into animals? That's different. Robin stepped forward, all business. All right, introductions are done. We got training to do. We got training to start. Cyborg raised an eyebrow. All right, but I thought you were the leader. Goku shrugged. Guess so, but I'm more of a learn as we go type anyway. Beast Boy smirked. This is going to be fun. Over the next few weeks, the team embarked on several missions, stopping bank robberies, dismantling rogue tech experiments, and even facing off against some metal humans at times. During a rooftop chase after a group of thieves, Beast Boy turned into a falcon, diving toward the criminals while Cyborg blasted their getaway vehicle. Goku, meanwhile, intercepted their leader with a single leap, having the man froze in fear as he looked at the man that was in front of him. You guys are getting good at this, Goku said afterward, clapping Cyborg on the back. Robin, however, remained reserved, quietly noting Goku's tendency to rush into fights without a plan. He'd have to report that to Batman. But despite the difference, the team was forming a bond. After one particular tough battle, they sat in the tower's lounge eating pizza. So, Cyborg said between bites, what's next for the Teen Titans? Goku leaned back, thoughtful. Whatever comes our way, we will handle it together. Beast Boy grinned. Sounds like a plan. Robin watched them all, his mind already calculating the next steps. The team was strong, sure, but they didn't take things too seriously, which could be a problem in crucial moments. 6 months into their operations, the Titans were introduced to their newest member, Raven. Cloaked in dark robes with a quiet, brooding demeanor, she stood in stark contrast to Goku's enthusiasm, Beast Boy's hyperactivity, and Cyborg's easygoing confidence. I don't do team bonding, she said flatly when Beast Boy tried to high-five her. Goku, however, was unfazed. That's cool. You do you. Despite her standoffish nature, Raven gradually warmed up to the group, mostly out of necessity. She tolerated Beast Boy's jokes, rolled her eyes at Cyborg's puns, and found Goku's relentless optimism strangely not annoying. When the mission went south and Raven's power surged out of control, Goku was the first to step in, shielding the others with his own energy, and then he withstood the force and held down Raven until she was able to calm down. You didn't have to do that, she muttered afterward. Goku grinned. Yeah, I did. You're an important member to our team. Raven didn't smile, but the faintest hint of respect flickered in her eyes, along with a slight blush. When he wasn't on missions, Goku practically lived in Titan's Tower, training simulations. Doing training simulations. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Cutting-edge holographic arenas designed by Batman to replicate any combat scenario. He pushed himself harder than ever, sparring against virtual Superman, Wonder Woman, and even simulated versions of himself. And he also went against actual machines that would test his endurance. Dude, you never take a break, Cyborg asked, watching Goku dodge a barrage of energy blasts. Nope, Goku laughed before getting knocked flat by a surprise attack. Okay, I could probably take a small one. Robin monitored these sessions closely, noting Goku's rapid growth in just months. He adapted to fighting in zero gravity, underwater, and even against illusions, skills Batman had insisted on testing. He's not just strong, Robin reported to Batman. He seems to be able to learn very fast. Unbeknownst to the others, Robin had been compiling detailed reports on Goku, his combat efficiency, leadership instincts, and most concerning to Batman, his recklessness. He prioritizes protecting civilians and team members over mission parameters, Robin relayed after a botched stealth operation. Understood, Batman replied. Keep watching. Robin wrestled with guilt. Goku trusted him, but orders were orders. The Titans' next mission seemed straightforward. Intercept an asteroid hurling toward Coast City. Easy. We blast it. Problem solved, Cyborg said. But when they reached the area, Goku used his strength to move the object away from the buildings it was about to collide with, but was surprised when it turned out to be a ship. Guys, Beast Boy pointed, that's not a rock. The pod cracked open, and out floated a dazed orange-skinned girl. Before anyone could react, the alien girl grabbed Goku and kissed him. What are you doing? Goku said, stepping back, confused by the random display of affection. Apologies, she gasped, pulling back. I am Starfire of Tamaran. Our people learn languages through physical contact. Beast Boy howled with laughter. Dude, your first kiss was with an alien. Despite the awkward start, Starfire proved herself in battle. When the ship she took activated its automated defenses and attacked, her star bolts tore through the drones effortlessly, and it was very precise. Amazing, Goku said, impressed as he crushed a gun with his hands. As are you, she beamed. I wish to join your team. Robin hesitated, but Goku extended a hand. Welcome to the Titans. Batman wouldn't like this, but Robin kept that to himself. With Starfire now part of the team, the 6 members, Goku, Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, and Starfire, became the definitive Teen Titans of their city. They took on everything from street-level crime to interdimensional threats. Their reputation was growing with each victory, whether it was stopping a rogue AI hacking global networks or battling sorcerers trying to merge dimensions. The Titans had handled it all together. Goku's raw power, Robin's tactical mind, Cyborg's tech expertise, Beast Boy's versatility, Raven's magic, and Starfire's energy projectiles and alien strength made them a near unstoppable unit. Civilians began to recognize them as protectors, and even the Justice League occasionally called on them for support missions. Still, they were far from perfect. Beast Boy's pranks sometimes derailed briefings, Raven's gloomy sarcasm clashed with Robin's seriousness, and Goku's habit of rushing into fights first always gave Cyborg a headache. But when it mattered, they had each other's backs. Despite the team's growing bond, Robin remained somewhat detached from Goku. During downtime, while the others joked around or trained together, Robin often isolated himself, reviewing mission logs or speaking privately with Batman over encrypted channels. Goku noticed but didn't push it at first. You good, Robin? You've been kind of quiet, he asked after a mission. Just focused, Robin replied curtly. Beast Boy nudged Cyborg. Dude's got Batman syndrome. All brood and no fun. But the truth was, Robin's guilt was weighing on him. The more he spied on Goku, the more he realized how genuinely good-hearted he was. Something Batman still seemed suspicious of, and he wondered why. What was the history between those two? The Titans operated under an unspoken two-leader system. Robin, the strategist, and Goku, the moral center. Robin planned missions with precision, accounting for every variable. Goku, meanwhile, led by instinct, charging into danger to protect others, often forcing Robin to adapt on the fly. Their dynamic mirrored somewhat Batman and Superman's relationship, one calculating, the other unwavering in his trust in people. We should wait for intel before engaging, Robin argued during a stealth operation. They're hurting people now, Goku continued, and then he began moving. It frustrated Robin, but he couldn't deny Goku's methods worked. Civilians were saved, villains were stopped, and the team thrived under his infectious optimism. Still, Batman's voice echoed in Robin's mind. Charisma isn't control. Goku still talked with Superman when their schedules aligned, and Wonder Woman occasionally visited her friend, and she was an inspiration to the Titans because she was the same age as Goku, but she managed to make it into the Justice League, and whenever Wonder Woman visited the tower, her disdain for Batman's exclusion of Goku was obvious. The League could use someone like you, Diana told Goku bluntly. He just laughed. Nah, I'm good. The Teen Titans are my team. For now, at least. And you already know I never really wanted to be a superhero anyways. So he wasn't really mad about it. Meanwhile, Robin's reports to Batman grew more frequent, and this time they were on the rooftops when they were speaking. There's no signs of instability, he said to the Caped Crusader. Are you starting to defend him now? Batman observed. Robin clenched his fists. I'm just reporting the facts. And inside his head, he knew Batman was wrong, and Goku wasn't a threat to the Earth or to his team. He was a great asset with a good heart. But of all the Titans, Goku bonded with Starfire the most. Their personalities aligned perfectly. Both were warm, endlessly curious, and always hungry. You eat how many plates? Cyborg gasped as they demolished the pizza buffet. Tamaranian metabolism requires much fuel, Starfire beamed. Same here, Goku grinned through a mouthful of food. They trained together, her energy blast versus his laser vision. Explored Earth's cultures, her fascination with shopping matched his love for martial arts, and even had a running contest over who could eat the most pasta. Raven once deadpanned, it's like they're siblings, if siblings could level a city by accident. But their friendship gave the team its heart. When morale was low, their joy was contagious, something even Robin couldn't ignore. Living and training alongside the Teen Titans transformed Goku in many ways that he never expected. While he had always been a powerhouse, his time as at Titan's Tower taught him teamwork, and it even taught him some new techniques that sharpened his abilities beyond just his brute strength and martial arts skills. From Robin, he learned tactical awareness, how to assess threats before charging in. Cyborg introduced him to how to use technology, helping him understand alien and mechanical foes better. Raven's patience with meditation improved his focus, while Beast Boy's adaptability inspired him to think outside the box in battle. Most importantly, Goku discovered that leadership wasn't just about being the strongest. It was primarily about trust. The Titans relied on him not just because he was a fighter, but as an ally that could guide them. Goku's Grade 8 transformation had always been a dangerous wild card, uncontrollable and destructive, but Beast Boy, with his own shape-shifting expertise, offered unexpected help. Dude, you gotta feel the transformation, not fight it, Beast Boy advised, shifting between animals effortlessly. It's like riding a wave. You control the current or it controls you. Through trial and error and lots of destroyed training drones, Goku learned to use the Ozaru's power without losing himself. Who knew a shapeshifter could teach me this? Goku laughed after his first controlled shift. Beast Boy grinned. Call me Beast Sensei now. Goku had relied on his jetpack for too long, and Raven noticed. She offered to teach him real flight using his own energy. Your life force is more than just attacks, she said, floating effortlessly. Like magic, it's an extension of your will. Lift yourself. At first, Goku just hovered awkwardly before crashing, but Raven's patience and occasional sarcastic remarks paid off, because after weeks of practice, he finally soared unaided, laughing as he looped around the Titan's tower. No more jetpack, he cheered. Raven smirked. Took you long enough. Starfire's energy blast fascinated Goku. Unlike his sporadic ki attacks, hers were precise, controlled, and powerful. How do you aim so well? He asked after she effortlessly moving targets. The energy comes from emotion, she explained, but control comes from focus. Under her guidance, Goku refined his own energy projection. He learned to condense his ki into tighter, faster blasts. No more wild, wasteful attacks. Soon he could fire rapid energy volleys with pinpoint accuracy. You are a most excellent student, Starfire praised. Goku grinned, and you are a great teacher. Inspired by Cyborg's sonic cannon, Goku developed his own signature attack, a massive blue energy wave he dubbed the Booyah Blast, much to Cyborg's annoyance at first. That's my word, Cyborg protested, laughing. But it fits, Goku argued. Charging the technique with a mighty thrust, he unleashed the beam, carving a canyon into a distant mountainside during a training session. The Titan stared in awe. Okay, yeah, Cyborg admitted. That was definitely a Booyah moment. From then on, the Booyah Blast became Goku's ultimate technique. Basically, his DC Universe's answer to the Kamehameha in normal canon. The Titans were caught off guard, though, one day when two powerful figures descended upon Jump City. One a vengeful royal, and the other a long-lost brother. Blackfire, Starfire's exiled sister, arrived first, her aura crackling with dark, violent energy as she hovered above Titan's tower. Hello, little sister, she sneered. Did you really think you could hide from me on this pathetic planet? Before Starfire could respond, another figure landed beside Blackfire, a towering warrior with wild spiked hair and a tail identical to Goku's. His armor bore the same insignia as Goku's childhood pod. Kakarot, the stranger growled, his voice dripping with disdain. You've gotten soft. Goku blinked. Kakarot? Do I know you? The Saiyan scowl deepened. I am Raditz, your brother. The team tensed. Raven's eyes narrowed. This just got complicated. Raditz scoffed at Goku's ignorance. You don't even remember your own bloodline. Pathetic. He crossed his arms, launching into a dark history lesson. Long ago in a distant galaxy, two planets orbited the same star. One was the planet Vegeta, home of the Saiyans, and the other was the planet Krypton, home of the Kryptonians. The Saiyans were warriors, bred for conquest under the tyrannical rule of Lord Frieza. The Kryptonians? They were scientists, engineers, weaklings, who built the ships and weapons we use to crush worlds. Goku frowned. That doesn't sound right, as he remembered how strong his brother Superman was, so he wondered how Kryptonians could be weak according to Raditz. Raditz ignored him. Frieza ruled both races with an iron fist. The Saiyans were his attack dogs sent to slaughter civilizations, and the Kryptonians fueled his empire with their technical advancements, including the pod that even sent you here. Cyborg Systems whirled as he analyzed Raditz's claims. Hold up. So Superman's people built Goku's space pod? And scouters and warp drives, Raditz sneered. But none of it mattered when our red star went and exploded. Krypton was destroyed first, then Vegeta, then the planet Vegeta. Frieza abandoned us all, leaving us for dead after it happened. Robin's mind raced. You're saying Saiyans and Kryptonians were allies? Allies? Ha! Raditz spat. We tolerated them, but I wouldn't call us allies. Starfire, who had been silent, finally spoke. This is why you work with my sister, yes? For revenge? Blackfire smirked. No, for profit. The universe is full of weak planets, ripe for the taking. Raditz hunts them, and I sell them. Simple. Goku clenched his fist. I'm not helping you conquer planets. Raditz's tail flickered impatiently. Then you're a fool. Midnight, Kakarot. Decide if you're a Saiyan or a target. With that, He and Blackfire blasted off into the sky, leaving the Titans reeling with what just happened. The team gathered in the tower's briefing room, tension thick in the air. So, your brother's a space pirate, Beast Boy summarized. Cool, cool, cool. Goku stared at his hands. I don't remember any of this, but if Raditz is telling the truth, it changes nothing, Wonder Woman said, her holographic image flickering from the League's comms. Your past doesn't define you. Your people's past doesn't define you. Superman's voice cut in. Raditz mentioned Krypton. If our people did build sand pods, that means our histories are linked. I will ask the Fortress of Solitude for answers later on more details. Batman's glare was icy. What we need to do is prepare. Raditz might not wait for midnight. Robin nodded. We could set traps. Cyborg, hack any alien tech that they might use. Raven, shield the city. Goku. Goku just stood up abruptly. I'll fight Raditz. Alone if I have to. Starfire grabbed his arm. No, we are Titans. We face this together. A slow grin spread across Goku's face. Yeah, we do. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the team steeled themselves. The war for the Earth's fate began at midnight because the Justice League members were off-world at the time. As the clock struck midnight, the Titans arrived at the open field where Raditz and Blackfire were waiting. The air was thick with tension as Goku stepped forward, his expression uncharacteristically serious. I'm not joining you, Raditz, Goku declared. I fight to get stronger, not to conquer worlds. Raditz sneered. Then you'll die like the weakling you are, alongside the trash that you choose to associate with. Then the battle erupted instantly. Raditz lunged at Goku with brutal speed, while Blackfire unleashed a barrage of violet starboats at Starfire and her allies. The Titans sprang into action. Cyborg and Beast Boy provided range support, and Beast Boy provided distractions, one blasting at Blackfire while the other distracted her as a bat. Raven shielded the field with her dark magic, deflecting Raditz's energy waves from damaging the city. Robin coordinated strikes exploiting openings in Blackfire's defenses. Starfire fought her sister head-on, the aerial clash lighting up the night sky like fireworks. You have betrayed our people, Starfire shouted, and you have disgraced our people as well. And you abandoned me, Blackfire hissed back. Despite their teamwork, the Titans were being overpowered. Raditz's raw strength and Blackfire's ruthless tactics with long-range blasts pushed them to their limits. Just as the battle seemed lost, a full moon emerged from behind the clouds. Goku's eyes widened as he felt his transformation coming. Guys, get back, he warned. His body convulsed as fur sprouted across his skin and he began to increase in size, his form expanding into a monstrous great Ozaru. But unlike before, his eyes burned red with control. Beast Boy's training had paid off. Raditz laughed. Fool, you think that form makes you my equal? He too transformed, but he became more feral, more of a rampaging beast. So Raditz thrashed wildly, and Goku moved with precision. With a mighty roar, he slammed his brother to the ground, shaking the city. The tide of the battle was turning. Raditz, unused to controlling his Ozaru form, was no match for Goku's disciplined power. Goku delivered a crushing blow to his brother's snout, forcing him to revert to his base form as he went momentarily unconscious, bruised and panting. Impossible, Raditz spat. You tamed the beast, despite the fact that we are both low-class Saiyans. Meanwhile, Starfire, empowered by her friend's support, overwhelmed Blackfire with a relentless assault. A final concussive starboat sent her sister crashing to the ground. Leave this planet, Starfire commanded, or face the consequences. Blackfire was defeated but seething, and she grabbed Raditz and told them all that this wasn't over. With a final glare, the siblings activated their escape pods and rocketed into the night sky. Back at the tower, the team celebrated their hard-won victory. Beast Boy shapeshifted into a monkey and played the cymbals to increase the noise in the room. Cyborg blasted music through his internal speakers while grilling a mountain of burgers. Starfire laughed as she tried and failed to teach Raven how to do some Tamaranian dancing. Goku, though exhausted, grinned as he devoured his fifth pizza. We make a pretty good team, huh? Robin, however, lingered in the shadows. His mind was elsewhere. In a secure communications room, Robin was talking to Batman, his grim face ever apparent. Report, Batman ordered. Robin hesitated. Raditz revealed something big. Saiyans and Kryptonians were connected. Their planets were allies under Frieza's rule. Goku's people were warriors, Superman's were scientists, and they used to work for a tyrant named Frieza before their star exploded. And apparently Frieza is way stronger than Raditz. Batman's eyes narrow. That changes things. If Frieza still exists, Earth could be in his sights. Robin clenched his fist. Goku's not a threat. He proved that tonight. Batman was silent for a long moment. Keep watching. This isn't over. And then he walked away. As the meeting ended, Robin stared blankly at the wall, torn between duty and loyalty. The Titans had won the battle, but something was sure to come brewing. Hopefully you guys like that. This took longer to come out because I didn't do all white backgrounds. If I do all white backgrounds, I can do videos quicker, which I might do. Let me get what you guys think in the comments. Anyway, be sure you leave a like on the video. I'm out. Peace. Right, Goku and Teen Titans Episode 2, the Hive and a +1. Let's get to it. After their brutal battle with Raditz and Blackfire, the Teen Titans had become an unstoppable force in Jump City. Their teamwork was seamless. Goku's moveset versatility, Robin's tactical precision, Cyborg's tech mastery, Beast Boy's adaptability, Raven's magic, and Starfire's energy blast made them a nightmare for any villain foolish enough to even challenge them. Bank robbers, handled before the police even arrived. Light alien invasions, crushed before the Justice League even needed to step in. Even interdimensional threats like demonic minions weren't safe. The city had never been safer. Goku had grown into his role as co-leader, balancing Robin's structured plans with his own instinctive heroics. The team had been even developed signature combo moves: Cyborg's sonic cannon, amplified by Raven's magic; Beast Boy's animal forms working in tandem with Starfire's aerial assaults; and Goku's Booyah Blast served as the ultimate finisher on the strongest of opponents. But despite their dominance, one enemy continued to elude them: Slade Wilson, the mercenary known as Deathstroke. No matter how many criminals the Titans put away, Slade remained a ghost in the shadows. He never fought them directly. Instead, he manipulated events from afar, hiring or blackmailing other villains to do his dirty work. He had sent Cinderblock to attack the docks, only for Goku to smash him into the Bay Harbor. He unleashed Dr. Light on the city, but Raven's magic nullified his photonic blast. Even when he teamed up with Brother Blood, the Titans dismantled the code after Robin's investigation skills. Slade wasn't just testing them, he was studying them. Every failed attack was another data point, another weakness to exploit. And now, after months of patience, he was ready to strike back harder than ever. The Teen Titans had grown arrogant. Slade mused, watching security footage on their latest victory. Time to remind them what real danger looks like. After another successful mission, a bank heist thwarted in under 2 minutes, the Titans decided to unwind with a pool party at their tower. Beast Boy turned into a dolphin, splashing around everywhere. Cyborg blasted music from his built-in speakers while manning the grill. Starfire floated above the water, sipping a smoothie on a floaty. Raven sat under an umbrella pretending she wasn't enjoying herself, though a small smirk betrayed her. And Robin was, well, Robin. He was there, but still brooding into his notes on where he believed Slade would appear next. While Goku, meanwhile, was engaging in eating and stacking empty plates at an alarming rate. You guys realize we still have to patrol, right? Robin reminded them. Relax, man, Cyborg laughed. After the week we've had, we've earned this. Little did they know their greatest challenge was being assembled at this moment. While the Titans celebrated, Slade was putting the final pieces of his anti-Titan squad together. They were all falling into place. Jinx, a hexer whose bad luck hexes could turn the tide of battle. Gizmo, a tech prodigy capable of hacking even cyborg systems. Mammoth, a brute who was almost strong enough to challenge Goku in raw strength. And Billy Numerous, a duplicator who could overwhelm them with numbers. Enchantress was a mystical wild card whose powers even rivaled Raven's. And then there was the sixth member, someone Slade had been saving for the right moment. He's late, Slade muttered, checking his communicator. Then a shadow fell over them. No, I'm right on time. The figure stepped forward, a warrior clad in dark robes, his green skin and pointed ears marking him as something otherworldly. You're sure that bastard will be there? The stranger asked. Slade smirked beneath his mask. Oh, he'll be there, Piccolo, and you'll get your revenge. We then get a flashback to Piccolo before he went to meet up with Slade. Far from Jump City in the war-torn nation of Kahndaq, a lone figure stood atop a pyramid. Piccolo, possibly the last of the entire demon clan, knelt before his adopted father, Teth Adam, more known as the mighty Black Adam. You have trained well, my son, Adam rumbled, but training means nothing without purpose. Piccolo's crimson eyes burned with quiet fury. My purpose is simple, father. Vengeance. The Saiyan took my real father's life, and I will take his in return. Black Adam nodded. Then go. Test your strength against these so-called heroes. And if his allies stand in your way, crush them. But come back here alive, because I will need you when Kahndaq declares war on the other nations. The demon nodded, and with that, Piccolo took to the skies, his black cape billowing behind him, his destination, Jump City. His target, Goku. And this time, the Titans wouldn't see him coming. We then jump to a frozen wasteland. Goku's boots crunched against the icy terrain as he touched down in the Arctic, his breath forming mist in the frigid air. Superman stood waiting, his cape billowing in the wind. Took you long enough, Clark said with a smirk. Hey, I was in the middle of a noodles contest with Beast Boy, Goku grinned, rubbing the back of his head. So what's the big emergency? Superman's expression turned serious. No emergency. But after what Raditz said about our people, I thought it was time we got some answers. Goku raised an eyebrow. Answers from where? Clark, we're in the middle of nowhere. Clark turned toward the horizon, where a massive crystalline structure shimmered in the distance. From my past, the Fortress of Solitude. Goku's eyes widened. Whoa, this is your secret base. More like a library, Superman said, floating upward. Come on. There's something you need to see. With that, the two brothers soared through the air toward the fortress, the icy winds behind them. Inside the fortress, Superman led Goku to a towering holographic console, the Kryptonian Archives, a repository of all known history from his home world. Computer, Clark commanded, access historical records on the Saiyan race and their connections to Krypton. The AI's voice echoed through the chamber, assessing, cross-referencing known Saiyan historical data. A massive holographic projection flickered to life, displaying two planets orbiting a red sun, Krypton and planet Vegeta. Whoa, Goku muttered, stepping closer. The alliance of the two worlds, the computer narrated. Krypton and planet Vegeta existed in the same star system, bound by necessity. Kryptonians were scientists, engineers, and philosophers. The Saiyans were warriors, conquerors, but both were under the rule of the tyrant known as Frieza. Goku frowned. So our people worked together, Superman crossed his arms, technically, but it was more like Frieza forced them to. The hologram shifted, following Frieza's empire, a vast intergalactic regime built on slavery and destruction. Bardock and Jor-El, they were the defiant ones. Then something shocked and appeared, an image of Goku's father, Bardock, standing beside a familiar face, Jor-El, Superman's birth father. Wait, our dads knew each other? Goku blurted. The computer continued. Bardock was a low-class Saiyan warrior, but unlike his brethren, he questioned Frieza's rule. Jor-El, Krypton's greatest scientist, secretly shared his concerns about his cautions to Bardock after the Saiyan and his crew had saved him from a reactor explosion as the security for that base. And especially after King Vegeta was executed. Hold on. He told Bardock that their two races were putting in the most work for Frieza, but that was putting a target on their backs, especially after King Vegeta was executed for planning a rebellion with the House of Zod. Superman's jaw tightened, so Frieza was planning to wipe them out. The lie that then he told the lie that doomed the two worlds. The hologram changed again. showing Frieza addressing the Saiyan elite. Your red sun is dying, Frieza lied smoothly. Krypton has already fallen. Soon Vegeta will follow, but fear not. I will relocate the Saiyan race to a new home. Bardock, however, wasn't fooled. That's when my father sent me away. Goku realized this. They sent his son to which was known as Earth. Superman's eyes widened. That's why your pod's design is similar to mine. Our fathers, they worked together to save us. Then the computer tells them about the fall of their two planets. The final images were devastating. Krypton exploded first. Frieza had ruptured the planet's core, and Jor-El barely had time to launch Kal-El's pod. Planet Vegeta was next. Frieza no longer needed the Saiyans, so he annihilated the planet himself in a single cataclysmic blast. Goku clenched his fists, so Raditz was right about some things, but he didn't know that Frieza was the one that destroyed our people. Superman placed a hand on Goku's shoulder. Our fathers gave us a chance. Now it's up to us to stop him when that time comes. A long silence followed. Then Goku grinned. Well then, guess we've got a space tyrant to punch someday. Clark smirked. I couldn't have said that better myself. Goku and Superman stood in silence, the weight of their discovery pressing down on them. A being capable of destroying planets with his finger. Someone who had already wiped out both of their races. You think he'll come here? Goku asked, uncharacteristically serious. Superman's jaw tightened. If he finds out that there are survivors, especially one strong enough to oppose him, then it's only a matter of time. Goku clenched his fist. Then I gotta get stronger, a lot stronger. And Clark nodded. Agreed, but for now we keep this between us. The League shouldn't go into a panic of something that isn't coming towards us yet, and neither should the Titans. Goku exhaled sharply. Yeah, but if Frieza ever shows up, I'm throwing the first punch. Superman smirked. I'll hold you to that. Before they could dwell further, Goku's communicator buzzed. Cyborg's face popped up on the screen. Yo, Goku, we got a situation. New villains are tearing up downtown. Get back here ASAP. Goku grinned, tension melting away. Be there in a flash. Superman raised an eyebrow. Trouble? Just the usual, Goku said, already powering up for flight. Villains picking fights that they can't win. Clark crossed his arms, and Goku tapped on the shoulder. And with that, he blasted off towards the Titan's tower, leaving a sonic boom in his wake. Goku landed in the tower's command center, where the rest of the Titans were gathered around a massive holographic screen. Live footage showed a group of costumed delinquents wreaking havoc, blasting cars, flipping trucks, and laughing like they were at a carnival. Who are these guys? Goku asked, cracking his knuckles. Robin scowled. No ID yet, but they're calling themselves the Hive Five. Starfire hovered closer, eyes narrowed. They appeared to be enjoying themselves. Raven groaned. Why do villains always have to be so dramatic? Cyborg slammed his fist into his palm. Enough chit-chat. Let's just go shut him down. Beast Boy jumped up. Finally. And with that, the team suited up and headed out. Goku leading the charge with a wide grin. The Titans touched down in the middle of the ruined street. Debris still smoldering from the Hive Five's rampage. The villains turned in unison, grinning like they just won the lottery. A pink-haired girl, clearly the leader, stepped forward, twirling the lock of her hair around her finger. Took you long enough, she purred. We were starting to think you chickened out. Goku crossed his arms. Nah, we just like making an entrance. The hulking brute of the group, Mammoth, cracked his knuckles. Yeah, where your next entrance will be in a hospital. Robin's eyes darted between them. You wanted us here? Why? The tech whiz of the group, Gizmo, cackled, floating on his drone. Because Slade said you'd come running if we made some noise. Slade, Cyborg growled. Figures. The duplicator, Billy Numerous, split into dozens of copies, already grinning. And now that you're here, we get to have some fun. Goku smirked as well, stepping forward. It'll be fun stomping you, that's for sure. Goku locked eyes with the pink-haired girl Jinx, who barely came up to his chest. He grinned down at her. 6 against 5. Looks like you're outnumbered. Jinx smirked. Not the least bit intimidated. Oh, monkey boy, maybe you should count again. And before Goku could react, a shadow fell over the battlefield. A deep, guttural voice echoed above. She's right. You should. The Titans looked up and their blood ran cold. Piccolo hovered above them, arms crossed, his crimson eyes burning with vengeance. Now it's 6-on-6. Jinx said sweetly, fair's fair, and before Goku could even respond to Jinx, a green fist rocketed to his chest with explosive force, launching him straight through a skyscraper. Concrete and steel shattered as he crashed into the building's core, dust billowing around him. The Titans gasped. Goku! Starfire shouted, ready to fly after him until the Hive stepped forward. Then Goku emerged, rolling his shoulders, scuffed up with a grin. Okay, that one actually hurt. His eyes locked onto his attacker. Towering, emerald skin, draped in a flowing black cape. Crimson eyes burned with cold fury. Piccolo, Goku said, voice low. The Namekian smirked. Don't be too surprised. You shouldn't be. You didn't think that King Piccolo's legacy died with him, did you? Goku cracked his neck. Nah, I just figured I'd have more time before his kid came for revenge. Piccolo's fist glowed with ki. Well, time's up, and your time has come to an end. With that, they vanished, reappearing mid-air as their fists collided, shockwaves rippling across the city. While Goku locked in battle against Piccolo, the Titans had no choice but to split up and handle the Hive Five. Cyborg would take on Gizmo. Cyberized human dodged a barrage of drones reflecting laser blasts. You're just a bad kid with toys. Beast Boy took on Mammoth. Gorilla's fists clashed against raw muscle as the shapeshifter gritted his teeth. Big guy's got a mean right hook. Robin versus Jinx. Batarangs collided with magic, making them go haywire, and explosives lit up the sky. Jinx smirked. Oh, pretty light show. Raven versus Enchantress. A dark energy swirled as the two sorceresses clashed. Your magic is reckless, Raven hissed, and your ki is suppressed. And yours is suppressed. And your magic is suppressed. We should bring that out of you, she said with a grin. Starfire took on Billy Numerous. A swarm of duplicates surrounded her, but Starfire just grinned. There are many of you, but none are a threat. Every Titan was holding their own, but their eyes kept flickering toward the earth-shattering impacts of the earth-shaking impacts of Goku and Piccolo's battle. He's fine, Robin murmured, more to himself than anyone. He's always fine. But this time, was he really? Gizmo cackled on as his drone swarm buzzed around Cyborg like mechanical hornets. Let's see how your outdated hardware handles my upgrades. He fired a barrage of micro-missiles, forcing Cyborg to raise his sonic cannon. Boom! The explosion locked the street as Cyborg emerged, armor scorched, but intact. Kid, I was built by Star Labs. You're playing in the big leagues now. Gizmo's grin faltered as Cyborg's arm cannon whirled to life, unleashing a sonic pulse that sent drones crashing to the ground. The little genius yelled, scrambling for a backup device, only for Cyborg to slam his fist into his chest plate, sending him skidding across the pavement. Game over, Cyborg smirked. Starfire hovered in the air, surrounded by dozens of Billy Numerous's copies, all grinning identically. What's wrong? Can't decide which one to hit? Starfire's eyes glowed emerald green. I do not need to. With the battle cry, she unleashed a 360-degree starbolt barrage, vaporizing clones left and right. The real Billy yelped as he dove like a comet, grabbing him by the collar mid-air. You are the original, she declared, before spinning and slamming him into the ground. The remaining clones powdered out of existence as Billy groaned. Note to self, don't piss off the alien princess. Mammoth roared, charging like a rhino. I'll crush you, pipsqueak. Beast Boy smirked, then shifted into a gorilla, meeting Mammoth's charge with a two-fisted slam. The impact cracked the pavement beneath him. Beast Boy smirked, then shifted into a gorilla. Beast Boy smirked. Big talk, Beast Boy grunted, and shifted into a T-Rex, chumping down on Mammoth's shoulder. The brute howled and then swung wildly. But Beast Boy turned into a flea, hopping off before shifting again into an elephant and trampling Mammoth into the concrete. Mammoth groaned, dazed. Cheater. Beast Boy reverted, dusting his hands off. Nah, just smarter. The air itself rippled with arcane energy as Raven and Enchantress faced off. Your magic is undisciplined, Raven said coldly, deflecting a curse with a flick of her wrist. Enchantress sneered. Yours is boring. She hurled a chaos bow, but Raven caught it in her palm, crushing it into black mist. Azeroth Metreon Zinthos, Raven chanted, her shadow tendrils lashing out, wrapping around Enchantress like chains. The witch shrieked as her own magic rebounded her, sealing her into a dark prison. Raven exhaled. That was too easy. Jinx twirled a strand of pink hair, smirking. Oh, the leader. Let's see how lucky you are. Robin's sticks crackle with electricity. Luck has nothing to do with it. Jinx snapped her fingers, and the street light above Robin shattered, the debris just missing as he flipped away. She pouted. Lucky dodge. Robin lunged, his strikes methodical, precise, but Jinx's hex magic made the ground crumble under his feet. Pipes bursting open to spray water into his face. Give up yet? Jinx teased. Robin wiped his face, then vanished in a smoke bomb. Jinx blinked. Wham! A kick from behind sent her tumbling. Before she could react, Robin's staff jammed into her back, sending a shockwave of electricity through her. Jinx spasmed before collapsing, groaning. Okay, maybe you are that good. Robin cuffed her. Told you. No luck involved. The dust cleared as Goku and Piccolo stood amidst the wreckage of their first clash, the air crackling with tension. The green-skinned warrior's crimson eyes burned with cold fury, his black cape billowing behind him like a vengeful specter. You took everything from me, Goku. Piccolo growled, his voice dripping with barely contained rage. My father and my legacy. Today I repay that debt in blood. Goku wiped a trickle of blood from his lip. His usual grin was absent. Your dad brought that on himself. He hurt innocent people. You shouldn't want to follow that path. Piccolo's hands ignited with swirling, violent ki. I don't care about the sins of my father. I just know that he died, and your life should be forfeit because of it. With a roar, he vanished, reappearing in front of Goku with a devastating hammer fist that cratered the ground beneath him. Goku barely blocked, skidding back before retaliating with a flurry of punches. Each impact sent shockwaves rippling through the battlefield, shaking the city blocks around them. Piccolo smirked mid-brawl. Yeah, you are definitely stronger than my father, but so am I. Suddenly his arm elongated, stretching like a rubber to wrap around Goku's throat before slamming him into a nearby building. Goku gasped as concrete shattered around him, but his eyes blazed with determination. Yeah, not bad, Goku coughed, forcing himself upright. But if you want to avenge your old man, you're going to have to hit harder than that. Piccolo's smirk faded into a snarl. Gladly, the two warriors erupted into motion again, their battle escalating into a city-shaking duel of speed, power, and sheer will. And that's where we're going to be leaving things off. Let me know what you guys think. Go. Right, Goku and Teen Titans Episode 3. Goku gets some aid from the Teen Titans. Let's get into it. Piccolo's crimson eyes swept over the battlefield, taking in the sight of his fallen allies. Gizmo was groaning in a pile of shattered drones. Mammoth was pinned under Beast Boy's elephant form, and Jinx was twitching from Robin's electric staff. And Enchantress was trapped in one of Raven's dark magic prisons. His lips curled, looking at them in disgust. Pathetic, he spat, his voice dripping with contempt. Is this the best that Slade could muster? A bunch of children playing villain. Jinx, still dazed, flinched at his words. She had been so confident moments ago, toying with Robin's luck, but now she could only glare weakly at the ground. We had them on the ropes, Gizmo protested, struggling to sit up. On the ropes? Piccolo scoffed. You were crushed like insects. If this is the strength of Deathstroke's elite, then his usefulness is lesser than I thought. His gaze locked onto Goku, however, who was already pushing himself up, dusting off his gi. Let's see if the Monkey King of this rubbish is worthy of my time. Jinx clenched her fists, her usual smirk replaced by a scowl. She had been so sure of herself. Her bad luck hexes always gave her the upper hand in all of her previous encounters, and yet Robin had outmaneuvered her, and now Piccolo's scorn burned worse than any shot from the Boy Wonder's staff. Whatever, she muttered. The frustration in her voice was undeniable. Goku stepped forward, his expression uncharacteristically serious. Hey, don't talk to them like that, he said, locking eyes with Piccolo. They fought hard. You don't gotta kick them while they're down. Piccolo sneered. Sentimentality. That's why you'll lose. There's no room in the battlefield for sentiments. Goku's fist tightened. Nah, I fight to improve myself and other people. Even if those other people have made mistakes. As he looked at the other people. As he looked at the Hive Five. That is truly what can make you stronger. That's how you get stronger. The air between them crackled with tension. Jinx watched the spiky-haired boy with black hair. Something unfamiliar was stirring within her chest. No one had ever defended her before. This was something new. Without another word, Piccolo shot upward like a bullet, his cape flaring behind him as he left it behind. Goku followed instantly, a sonic boom erupting in his wake as he shattered the sound barrier. The two warriors clashed mid-air, their fists colliding with enough force to send shockwaves rippling through the sky, moving the clouds. Each impact was like thunder, the sheer speed of their movements making them little more than blurs to the naked eye. You are fast, Piccolo admitted, barely blocking a roundhouse kick that would have shattered a skyscraper. And you hit pretty hard. Goku grinned, countering with a spinning elbow that Piccolo was able to dodge. They spiraled higher, trading blows so rapidly that the air itself seemed to scream in protest. Below, most of the Titans shielded their eyes, struggling to even track the battle. Goku's grin faltered for a split second as he noticed the destruction they were causing below. Buildings were trembling. Windows were shattering from the shockwaves, and he couldn't let innocent people get caught up in this crossfire. Hey, green guy, he called, blocking a ki blast. How about we take this somewhere with more room? Piccolo narrowed his eyes. You're running already. Nah, Goku said, already darting toward the outskirts of the city. I'm just picking a better battlefield. With the snarl, Piccolo pursued, the two of them streaking across the sky like comets, leaving Jump City behind as they headed toward the woodlands beyond. Robin watched them go, his mind racing. We can't let Goku fight alone, he said, turning to them. Cyborg, I need you to track them. Cyborg's optics whirred. Already on it. They're heading northeast to an uninhabited zone. Good, Robin nodded. Starfire, you and Raven take point. Beast Boy scout ahead. Cyborg and I will follow up behind. We don't know what Piccolo's capable of. If Goku needs backup, we'll be there. Beast Boy smirked. Shifting into a falcon, let's move. With that, the Titans took off, determination in their eyes. They weren't just a team. They were practically family. And no reincarnated Demon King was going to take one of their own away from them. Piccolo's crimson eyes gleamed with cruel satisfaction as he watched Goku's chest rise and fall heavily. His breathing was coming in sharp bursts. The Saiyan was still standing, still grinning, but the fatigue, it was noticeable. His knuckles were bruised, his gi was slightly torn from their brutal exchanges. Pathetic, Piccolo sneered, folding his arms. All that power, and yet you're already winded. Joining these so-called Titans has made you soft. Goku wiped his brow, chuckling. Maybe I'm just warming up. Don't lie to yourself, Piccolo growled. You've been running around playing hero, wasting your potential on petty criminals and weaklings. Meanwhile, I've spent every waking moment training, honing my hatred, sharpening my skills for this very day. His voice dripped to a venomous whisper. While you were off laughing with your friends, I was in the wastelands of Kondak, pushing my body beyond its limits. While you were eating pizza, I was meditating in the dark depths of Black Adam's dungeon, embracing the darkness that fuels within me. Goku's smirk faded slightly. He knew that Piccolo wasn't completely wrong. He had been focusing on teamwork and protecting others rather than pushing his own limits like he used to. You could have been so much stronger, Piccolo continued, flexing his claws. But you chose weakness. You chose them. His lips twisted into a mocking grin. And now when it matters most, you won't be strong enough to save yourself. A gust of wind howled between them as Goku clenched his fist. That's where you're wrong, he said, his voice steady. My friends don't make me completely weak. They make me fight harder, and they can help me whenever I have a shortcoming. Piccolo's eyes narrowed. Then prove it. And with that, he lunged. forward, his fist wreathed in crackling violet ki, aimed straight for Goku's chest. The air between Piccolo and Goku ignited as they both thrust their palms forward, unleashing twin beams of raw energy. Goku's brilliant blue and Piccolo's seething violet. The blast collided in a cataclysmic explosion, the shockwave ripping outward like a bomb detonating. Ancient trees were uprooted in an instant, splintered into kindling as the force of the blast flattened everything in a 100-yard radius. The ground itself trembled, dirt and debris hurling skyward in a violent upheaval. Birds scattered in terror. Animals bolted for their lives. Nature itself recoiled from the sheer destructive power of their clash. Goku gritted his teeth, pouring more energy into his attack, while his muscles were straining. Piccolo snarled, veins bulging in his forehead, as he refused to yield. For a moment, the beams hung in a deadlock until the pressure became too much. Boom! The resulting detonation sent both warriors skidding backward, and the landscape around them was reduced to a smoldering wasteland. Miles away, the Titans froze as a distant explosion lit up the horizon. A towering plume of smoke and energy rising into the sky. There, Cyborg barked, his scanners locking onto the energy signature. That's gotta be them. Starfire's eyes glowed with urgency. We must hurry. Goku may require assistance. Beast Boy shifted into a hawk, soaring ahead. I'll scout the area. Follow my lead. Robin's jaws tightened. Move fast. If Piccolo's as strong as he seems, Goku might be injured, especially after that explosion. Raven's cloak billowed as she levitated. Let's just hope we're not too late. With that, the Titans shot toward the devastation, determination burning within their hearts. As the dust from the explosion swirled, Piccolo smirked, assuming Goku was disoriented. Lost already, huh, ape? He taunted. But Goku wasn't relying on his sight. He closed his eyes, focused on Piccolo's energy signature. The moment he locked on, his eyelids snapped open, and with a sharp "Ha!" he fired twin eye beams straight through the smoke. Piccolo roared as the laser soared into his shoulder, the smell of burnt flesh filling the air. He staggered back, clutching the wound with a face twisted in fury. You bastard. Goku grinned with his fist still raised. I told you I was just warming up. Piccolo's purple blood dripped onto the scorched earth, a sign of the first real damage he had taken in this battle. And now he was pissed. Piccolo's lips curled into a vicious grin as he charged his destructive wave. A spiraling blast of orange energy streaked towards Goku. The sand twisted mid-air, narrowly avoiding the initial strike, but then his eyes widened as the attack looped back around, locking onto him like a homing missile. What the? Goku barely had time to react before the blast gave chase, forcing him into a desperate high-speed evasion. He zigzagged through the forest. Trees were disintegrating in his wake as Piccolo's energy pulsed relentlessly while pursuing him. You can't outrun it, ape. Piccolo's voice boomed behind him. My ki obeys my very will. Goku gritted his teeth, pushing his speed to the limit, but the blast was gaining. Before he knew it, the tree line broke, and the skyscrapers of Jump City loomed ahead. People below screamed as they saw the upcoming destruction. Oh no, Goku realized in horror that if he kept dodging, the blast would level the city block. So he had one choice left. With a sharp inhale, Goku spun mid-fight, facing the oncoming demon wave head on. Instead of dodging, he dug his heels into the pavement, arms outstretched. Gotcha. He roared as he caught the blast in his palms, his muscles straining against the violent energy, trying to tear free. The force sent him skidding backward, his boots digging trenches into the asphalt. Goku's body flared with blue energy as he wrapped himself in a barrier to compress the explosion inward. Everybody get back, he bellowed. Civilians scrambled for cover as the blast detonated in his grasp. A contained sunburst of destruction. The shock wave rattled windows for blocks, but thanks to Goku's quick thinking, the damage was greatly minimized. As the smoke cleared, Goku stood in a smoldering crater, singed, bruised, and barely standing. Piccolo was disgusted, and as his eyes narrowed, you fool. You wasted your energy protecting these weaklings. Goku wiped blood from his lip and smirked. I think it was worth it. Piccolo hovered above the smoldering crater with his crimson eyes gleaming with cruel amusement as he watched Goku struggle to rise back up. The Saiyan's gi was cooked, his body singed from containing the blast. His sacrifice had evident damages because of it. Pathetic, Piccolo sneered, crossing his arms. You damn near killed yourself for these worthless humans. And where are they now? Gone. They abandoned you the moment they got the chance. His lips twisted into a mocking grin. That's the problem with you heroes. You fight for those who won't fight for you. They left you alone with the reincarnation of the Demon King himself. Goku coughed, forcing himself to one knee. Huh. Doesn't matter, I'd do it again. Piccolo's smirk faded into a scowl. They're even more of a fool than I thought. Who said he was alone? Robin said as he had arrived. Goku's ears perked up at the sound of a familiar voice cutting through the smoke. Nobody ever said he was alone. Robin stepped forward, his cape fluttering as he emerged from the dust. His expression steeled. Behind them, the rest of the Titans materialized. Cyborg's cannon was humming. Starfire's eyes were glowing green. Beast Boy was already shifting into a wolf, and Raven's dark energy swirled ominously around her. Goku blinked in surprise before breaking into a pained grin. Took you guys long enough. Robin didn't take his eyes off Piccolo. Like you said before, we love to make an entrance. One by one, the Teen Titans stepped forward, forming a protective half circle around Goku. Their arms were crossed, their glares locked onto Piccolo with unshaken defiance as he levitated in the air. Cyborg cracked his metallic knuckles. You messed with the wrong squad, Green Bean. Starfire's eyes burned emerald. You will regret harming our friend. Beast Boy bared his fangs in a snarl and let out a vicious bark. And Raven's voice was ice. Your revenge game ends here. Piccolo's eyes flickered between them, unimpressed, but amused. Piccolo threw his head back and laughed, a deep guttural sound that echoed through the ruined streets. Brave words for insects. Fine. If you're all so eager to die together, I'll send your entire squad to the grave. His fist ignited with violet ki, his aura flaring violently. That way, when I finish off your monkey king, he won't have to be lonely in hell. Goku wiped blood from his lip and forced himself upright, his own energy trying to flare back up in response. You know, you talk too much. The Titans shifted into battle stances. The real fight was about to begin. Robin's voice cut through the tension like a blade. Titans, go! In an instant, the team exploded into action. Cyborg's sonic cannon whirled to life, unleashing a concussive blast straight at Piccolo's chest. Starfire rocketed forward, her fists wreathed in emerald starbolts, while Raven's hands glowed with dark energy. Beast Boy's form shimmered, already shifting into something new. Goku, still battered but grinning, cracked his knuckles. All right, team. Show this guy the strength of numbers. Piccolo barely had time to react before the coordinated assault was already upon him. Beast Boy's body twisted and morphed into a green bat, his leathery wings flaring as he unleashed a piercing, ultrasonic shriek. The sound waves hit Piccolo like a physical force because his sensitive Namekian ears were throbbing in agony. Beast Boy had been told this information by Robin because of Batman's dossier on the Demon King Piccolo in the first fight, knowing that he was weak against these type of sounds. Damn rodent, Piccolo snarled, clapping his hands over his ears, his balance faltering in the air. Cyborg smirked. Yeah, not so tough when you can't think straight, huh? The distraction was all the opening they needed. Raven's eyes glowed white as she raised her hands, lifting chunks of rubble, shattered concrete, and twisted metal mixed with her magic. Azeroth Metreon Zinthos. With a flick of her wrist, she hurled the debris at Piccolo like a meteor shower. The projectiles hammered into him, knocking him off his feet and burying him under a crushing pile of wreckage. And Starfire hovered beside her, arms crossed. That should keep him down. Raven's expression remained wary. Not for long. As predicted, the rubble exploded outward as Piccolo erupted from the wreckage, his face twisted in fury. Enough of these, clang. Before he could finish, Robin's flashbang grenade detonated right in his face, leaving a searing white light engulfing his vision. His eyes burned and he staggered back disoriented. Damn it. Robin landed in a crouch, already priming another explosive. Eyes on the target. Titans, he's blind. Now's your shot. The team moved for the knockout blow. Seeing Piccolo blinded and reeling, Cyborg didn't hesitate. His arm cannon whirred as he channeled every ounce of power into a massive blue energy blast, the air crackling with raw voltage. Eat this! He roared, unleashing the attack at point-blank range. The beam slammed into Piccolo's chest, sending him skidding backward. His feet were caving trenches into the pavement. Smoke billowed from the impact as the Namekian gritted his teeth, struggling against the force. You think this is enough? Piccolo growled, muscles straining as he pushed back against the blast, his own aura flaring behind him violently. Just as Piccolo gained ground against Cyborg's attack, he was blindsided by an emerald light that streaked down from above. You will fall, demon, Starfire shouted, her fist glowing as she unleashed a full-powered starbolt barrage directly into Piccolo's back. The explosive bolts erupted against his spine, disrupting his balance and sending him lurching forward, right back into Cyborg's beam. Piccolo roared in frustration, caught in the crossfire of two devastating attacks. His arms were trembling as he fought to stay upright, but the confined force was starting to become overwhelming. Goku, battered but unbroken, wiped blood from his lip and grinned. All right, it's my turn. Dropping into his signature stance, he channeled every last drop of his energy into his fist, a swirling blue vortex forming within it, and the ground trembled as he gathered his power on the battlefield. Booyah blast! With a mighty thrust, Goku unleashed the titanic energy wave. The beam joined in Cyborg's and Starfire's attack in a devastating trifecta of destruction. The combined force engulfed Piccolo completely, the explosion lighting up the sky as the shockwave flattened everything that was in its wake. When the smoke cleared, Piccolo was on his knees, beaten and scorched, and the Titans stood together, ready to end this. The battlefield fell eerily silent as the smoke slowly dissipated, revealing the scorched form of the reincarnated son of the Demon King, where Piccolo had been struck down. The Namekian warrior groaned, his once proud stance reduced to trembling limbs as he forced himself onto one knee. His clothing was tattered, his green skin marred with burns and bruises, undeniable proof of the Titans' combined might. Goku, breathing heavily and clutching his injured side, stepped forward. His unusual grin was absent, replaced by a rare solemnity. You don't have to be like your father, Piccolo, he said, voice firm but not unkind. You are strong enough to choose your own path for yourself. Piccolo's crimson eyes flickered with something unreadable, anger, frustration, maybe even the faintest hint of doubt, and for a moment it seemed like he might have listened. Then, with a pained grunt, he levitated off the ground, his body wavering as he fought to stay airborne. Fool, he spat, his voice hoarse, but dripping with venom. Mercy is weakness, and weakness will get you killed on the battlefield someday. His gaze locked onto Goku's, burning with a promise. The next time we meet, I won't hesitate to finish what my father started. And with that, he rocketed into the sky, his form shrieking into the distance until he vanished behind the clouds. The Titans watched in silence, the weight of the battle settling over them. We shouldn't have let him leave, Robin muttered. Goku exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. Yeah, if he comes back next time, we'll be ready. Starfire floated down beside him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. And he will still lose, because he fights alone, and we fight together. Goku smiled, looking at his team, his surrogate family. Couldn't have said it better myself. Goku's legs finally gave out as his adrenaline faded. His body was pushed beyond its limits, but before he could hit the ground, strong hands caught him. Cyborg on one side and Beast Boy, now human again, on the other. Whoa there, big guy, Cyborg chuckled, hoisting him up. Save some energy for the victory feast. Starfire floated close, her eyes warm with concern. You fought most bravely, friend Goku. Raven, though typically stoic, gave a small nod of respect. Not bad, for an idiot who almost got himself killed. Goku laughed weakly, wiping the dirt from his face. Huh. I couldn't have done it without you guys. With their leader supported between them, the Titans began to slow trek back to the tower, their bond stronger than ever. The city lights flickered in the distance, a silent testament to another battle that was won together. As the others moved ahead, Robin lingered, his expression unreadable behind his mask, and with a quick glance to ensure he wasn't overheard, he activated his encrypted communicator. Batman, it's Robin. Static crackled before the Dark Knight's voice responded, cold and expectant. Report. Robin's jaws tightened. Goku had Piccolo beaten, but he decided to let him go. No containment, no league involvement, just words about choosing a better path. A long pause, then Batman's voice dropped lower, dangerously calm. And what was the threat level that Piccolo posed? Robin hesitated. At least a city-level threat. Then this was a mistake. Batman's tone left no room for debate. Monitor the situation further. If Goku's judgment compromises the team any further, I know. Robin cut in, sharper than intended. I'll handle it. The line went dead. Robin stared at the communicator, guilt and duty warring in his chest before sprinting to catch up with the others. His smile forced, and his mind was still racing. So yeah, that's the end of that. I hope you guys liked it, man. Let me know what you think down below. I actually had to do this video twice because my images got corrupted. So leave a like for that. Gone. Goku and Teen Titans, episode 4. Goku and Wonder Woman go on a date. Let's get it. After Piccolo's defeat, life at Titan's Tower returned to normal. Training sessions, missions, and the usual banter between teammates. But inwardly, Goku couldn't shake the words Piccolo had thrown at him. Telling him, you could have been so much stronger, but you chose weakness. You chose them. The accusation was gnawing at him. He had spent months fighting alongside the Titans, growing as a team player, but had he neglected his own growth? Back in his early days with Kami, he had trained relentlessly, pushing his limits every single day, and now he was strong, sure, but was he as strong as he could be? He clenched his fist, staring at his reflection in the tower's gem mirror. And then he sat on his bed. See, Piccolo had trained non-stop, fueled by hatred. Goku didn't have that kind of anger, but maybe he needed to refocus it. He couldn't afford to get complacent, not with threats like Frieza looming in the shadows of the universe. Maybe it was time he started training seriously again, he muttered. But before he could dwell further, his door slid open. Standing in the doorway was Wonder Woman. Her arms were crossed with a small smile on her face. She told him, you look like you're in deep thought, she remarked. Goku blinked, then grinned. Diana, what's up? She stepped aside, her expression shifting to something more serious. I need your help with something, a personal matter. Goku tilted his head. Personal? Like a mission? Not exactly, she said. It's complicated. I'll explain on the way. He shrugged. Sure, I'm in. Just let me grab my shoes. As he laced up his boots, he couldn't help but wonder what could be important enough for Wonder Woman to ask for his help. Just as Goku and Diana were about to leave, the tower's alarm blared. A beeper went off, displaying the signal of a distress beacon from an underground location. Cyborg's voice crackled over the comms. Titans, we got a situation. Goku hesitated, glancing at Diana. You mind if we... Robin cut in. Already suited up. We've got this. You two go ahead with the mission y'all have. Goku frowned. You sure? Robin gave a firm nod. Yeah, it's probably just a simple rescue mission. We'll handle it. Diana placed a hand on Goku's shoulder. They'll be fine. With that, the two stepped out, leaving the Titans to their mission. As they walked through the bustling streets of Jump City, Diana finally explained. So, Batman helped me establish a civilian identity. Diana Prince, she said. I have a job interview at a Greek history museum tomorrow, but I don't exactly own any normal clothes, normal quotation marks. Goku blinked. Wait, you need clothes? She sighed. Yes, something professional. I can't exactly walk in wearing my armor. Goku scratched his head. Huh? Never really thought about that. Diana smirked. Not all of us can get by in an orange gi, Goku. He laughed. Fair point. But I think I know someone who can help. Before Diana could ask who he meant, Goku suddenly vanished in a blur of speed, leaving her standing alone on the sidewalk. She blinked. What? A second later, he reappeared, holding a small bag. Sorry about that, he said, grinning. I had to grab something first. Diana raised an eyebrow, and that is... Goku opened the bag, revealing his signature clothes. Her eyes widened. Goku pulled out his familiar orange gi with the blue undershirt and matching orange pants, his signature outfit, and he grinned. Here, put these on. Gotta keep your identity safe until we get you some real clothes. Diana stared at the garments, then back at him. You want me to wear your clothes? Yep, he said, completely unfazed. It's just until we meet the person who can help. Trust me, no one will recognize you like this. Diana hesitated, a faint blush creeping onto her cheeks. The idea of wearing his clothes felt strangely intimate, like borrowing something personal from someone she deeply respected. But Goku just stood there waiting as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Finally, she sighed and took the gi. Fine. But if anyone asks, this was your idea. Goku laughed. Deal. She ducked off into the alleyway to change, emerging moments later in the orange and blue ensemble. The pants were a little loose and the sleeves slightly long, but it worked. She tied the belt snugly, adjusting the fit. Goku gave her a thumbs up. Looking good. Diana rolled her eyes, but she couldn't fight the small smile that was tugging at her lips. Let's just go before someone sees the princess of Themyscira dressed like a karate instructor. Without warning, Goku grabbed Diana's hand and shot into the sky, his flight carrying them both at breakneck speed. Diana gasped as the wind whipped past them, the cityscape blurred beneath their feet. Where are we going, Goku? She shouted over the rushing air. Metropolis, he called back. Diana's eyes widened. Metropolis? Why? You'll see. Within minutes, they touched down in the heart of the bustling city. Diana looked around, bewildered, as Goku scanned the skyline before suddenly pointing. There. She followed his gaze to a towering building, the Daily Planet, its iconic globe gleaming in the sunlight. Diana crossed her arms. You brought me to a newspaper agency? Goku grinned. Not just any newspaper. The best reporter in the world works here, and she's great at picking out outfits. Goku marched into the Daily Planet with Diana trailing behind him, her borrowed gi making her feel oddly self-conscious in this professional setting. Reporters bustled around, phones were ringing, keyboards were clacking, and no one was really paying them any attention. Goku scanned the room before spotting a young man with red hair and a camera around his neck. Hey, you know where Lois Lane is? The man. Jimmy Olsen blinked. Yeah, but she's not here. There's a robbery downtown. She's covering it live. Goku's eyes lit up. Perfect. Where exactly? Jimmy hesitated, glancing at Diana. Who are you guys? Friends, Goku said cheerfully. We really need her help. Jimmy shrugged. All right, well, it's at the First National Bank on 5th and... Before he could finish, Goku grabbed Diana's wrist again, looked at his name tag and said, thanks, Jimmy. And with that, they were gone in a blur, leaving Jimmy staring at the spot where they'd just been. Huh, he muttered. Lois Lane stood just outside the police barricade, microphone in hand, her sharp eyes locked on the bank where armed robbers had taken hostages. The situation was quite tense. SWAT teams were positioned, negotiators were shouting through megaphones, and the news choppers buzzed overhead. This is Lois Lane, reporting live from the scene of an ongoing hostage situation at the First National Bank. She said into her mic, her tone professional but edged with frustration. Authorities are attempting to negotiate, but the suspects are refusing to communicate. Meanwhile, Superman is currently occupied with the meteor threat near Canada. And she cut herself off with an irritated sigh. And Clark Kent is stuck in traffic. Perfect timing as always, Smallville. Just then a familiar voice piped up behind her. Hey, Lois. Lois spun around and nearly dropped her microphone. Standing there grinning like this was a casual meetup was the same spiky-haired teenager who had saved her from the live wires falling debris a month ago. And beside him was what seemed to be Wonder Woman, awkwardly dressed in what looked like his clothes. Goku? Lois blinked. Why are you here? There's an active hostage situation. Goku scratched his head. Oh yeah, that. Well, we actually came to ask you for help. Lois stared. Me? Diana stepped forward, looking uncharacteristically sheepish in the oversized gi. I require fashion advice. Lois's mouth opened, then closed. She glanced back at the bank, then at the two of them, then at the bank again. You what? Goku nodded eagerly. Yeah, you always dress super nice, and Diana needs something professional for a job interview tomorrow. Lois pinched the bridge of her nose. Let me get this straight. You flew to a robbery hostage crisis to ask me about some work clothes. Diana sighed. In hindsight, this was poor timing. Before Lois could respond, a loud boom echoed from the bank, the sound of a grenade detonating. The police scrambled, shouting orders. Lois threw her hands up. Fine, I'll help you with your fashion emergency after you deal with the guys holding 20 people hostage, she yelled. Goku grinned. Deal. Without hesitation, he and Diana strode toward the bank's shattered entrance, ignoring the shouts of SWAT officers trying to stop them. The robbers had barricaded themselves inside, but the reinforced doors might as well have been tissue paper. Goku pushed them open like they were nothing. Diana followed, her borrowed gi sleeves flapping slightly as she stepped into the dimly lit bank. The hostages were huddled in the center, terrified, while 5 armed men in ski masks stood guard. One officer yelled after them, "What are you doing? Get back." But it was too late. They had already managed to make it inside. The lead robber, a burly man with a shotgun, turned at the sound of the doors creaking open. When he saw Goku and Diana standing there in matching orange and blue, he burst out laughing. Well, looks like Halloween came early, he jeered, nudging his partner. You two lost a karate tournament or something? Goku didn't smile. Diana didn't either. Instead, their eyes flickered across the room, assessing 4 gunmen. One explosives expert near the back, and hostages unharmed but shaken. You take left, Diana murmured. Got it, Goku replied. The robber's smirk faded. Hey, I'm talking to you. Close your eyes, Goku whispered. Diana obeyed instantly. Then Goku clapped his hands together, but instead of a normal sound, a surge of ki erupted between his palms, exploding outward in a blinding white flash that filled the entire bank, similar to the cannon solar flare technique. What the? The robbers screamed, clawing at their eyes. I can't see. It was a technique he'd been perfecting with Starfire, mimicking her starboat's radiance but weaponizing it as a disorienting flare, and it worked perfectly in this incident. Before the robbers could recover, Goku and Diana moved. Goku blurred forward, disarming 2 men with precise chops to their wrists before flipping a third over his shoulder. Diana moved like a gust of wind, disarming the last 2, snapping their weapons in half like pencils, and pinning the explosive experts to the ground before he could trigger the detonator. The whole fight lasted a total of 3 seconds. The hostages blinked in shock as the smoke cleared, revealing all 5 criminals groaning on the floor. Goku turned to them with a thumbs up. Alright, you're all good now. Diana untied the nearest civilian. Remain calm. The police should be coming soon. Outside, SWAT stormed in, only to freeze at the sight of the already handled situation. Goku walked past the stunned officers and news cameras like nothing had happened, heading straight for Lois, who was standing with her arms crossed. All right, he said cheerfully. Robbers are handled. Now you ready to help us out? Lois stared at him, then at Diana, then back at the bank. Unbelievable. But she grabbed her keys anyway. Fine, get in the car. Deal's a deal. The 3 of them walked off, leaving behind a crowd of baffled cops and reporters, and one very confused Jimmy Olsen who had just arrived with his camera on the scene. Did I miss something? Lois didn't answer. She just sighed and started the engine. As Lois pulled out of the crime scene parking lot, Goku leaned forward from the back seat. So Diana's got this big interview at a Greek museum tomorrow, but she's never had to dress like a civilian before. I figured who'd better to ask than you, he grinned. You're the most professional looking woman I know. Lois shot him a sideways glance, her lips quirked into a smirk. Flattery will get you everywhere, kid. She adjusted the rearview mirror, eyeing Diana in the passenger seat. Though I'm still trying to process why the Wonder Woman needs my fashion advice. The Amazon was surprised Lois knew it was her until she realized she still kept on her tiara that entire time, and then Diana shifted slightly in the oversized gi to answer her question. I must adapt to the modern world. Lois chuckled. Well, lucky for you, I know exactly where to go to get you adapted. The department store Lois took them to was sleek and upscale, far fancier than anywhere Goku had ever shopped. While Diana hesitated near the entrance, Lois marched straight to the business attire section, grabbing blazers, pencil skirts, and blouses with precision of a general planning a siege. Try these, she said, thrusting an armful of clothes at Diana before shooting her into the changing room. Left alone, Goku plopped onto a bench outside the fitting area, swinging his legs idly. He could hear Lois critiquing from inside. No, The Navy one's better. Lose the pinstripes. Yes, that's the one. He smiled faintly. It was nice seeing Diana get help, even if the whole situation was a little surreal. But as the muffled fashion debate continued, Goku's thoughts drifted back to Piccolo. You chose weakness when you chose them. His fist clenched. Had he really gotten weaker since joining the Titans? He'd been so focused on teamwork that he hadn't pushed his own limits like before. Sure, he had learned certain abilities, but had he been lacking in his general power outage, the power output of his abilities? And if Piccolo came back stronger, angrier, would he even be ready to face him? A cold certainty settled in his gut. Then the change room curtain swished open, snapping him back to the present. Well, Lois said, stepping aside to reveal Diana in a sleek, tailored pantsuit. What do you think? Goku blinked. Yeah, it looks great. Diana arched an eyebrow. You weren't even looking. He rubbed his neck sheepishly. Sorry, got distracted. Lois sighed. Boys. And then the women went back into the change room, and Goku's mind was already back to thinking of training plans, new techniques, and ways to push himself further. Lois had Diana twirling in front of the mirror in her third different pantsuit when she finally paused, tapping her chin thoughtfully. Okay, museum director vibes, check. But a mischievous grin spread across her face as she reached for a different rack. What about something for after the interview? Diana blinked as Lois held up a sleek emerald green dress, elegant but undeniably more form-fitting than the professional attire they'd been focusing on. For what occasion exactly? Diana asked cautiously. Lois smirked, nodding toward the dressing room door where Goku waited obviously. Oh, I don't know. Dinner with a certain spiky-haired hero who apparently thinks clashing orange is peak fashion? Diana's cheeks warmed slightly. That's unnecessary. Goku doesn't notice such things. Uh-huh. Lois draped the dress over her arm anyway. Kid might be clueless, but he'd have to be blind not to see you in this. Diana folded her arms, though her tone held more amusement than protest. We are warriors, Lois. Not whatever you are implying. Lois burst out laughing. Oh, I like you. She tossed the dress into the yes pile. But fine. We'll blame me for this frivolous act. Every woman deserves one killer outfit that she doesn't need. Diana hesitated, then glanced at the emerald fabric. The dress seems to be well tailored for combat mobility. That's the spirit, Lois winked. And if a certain monkey boy happens to trip over his own feet, seeing you in it, well, that's just a bonus. And outside, Goku sneezed loudly. Unaware of the fashion conspiracy that was unfolding inside, Goku slumped on the bench, chin in his hands. Piccolo's taunts echoed in his skull. You've gone soft. His fingers twitched. Maybe he needed to train harder. And then he was brought out of his trance. Earth to Goku. Lois snapped him back to reality. She and Diana stood before him, the latter now in a crisp black blazer and slacks. Her hair was neatly tied back. Whoa, he jumped. You look, professional, Diana supplied dryly. Yeah, that. Lois rolled her eyes. I see why she didn't bother with that dress. Diana's lips quirked. Yeah, I told you. Goku blinked. Wait, what dress? Lois groaned. Never mind, let's just get you two back before you cause something chaotic. You superhumans are magnets for trouble. As they left, Goku's earlier doubts lingered, but for now he pushed them aside, one problem at a time. Diana stepped out of the change room in her final outfit, and she turned to Goku with expert glance. You think this will suffice? Goku blinked, then grinned. Yeah, you look great, like a real museum person. Diana arched an eyebrow at his phrasing, but nodded in thanks. However, she didn't miss the way his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. There was tension in his shoulders, a distracted flicker in his gaze, like something was weighing on him. She considered pressing him after all. They had known each other since their days sparring on Themyscira as kids, but the crowded store wasn't the place for that conversation. Instead, she simply said, "Thank you for your help today." Goku rubbed the back of his neck. Hey, no problem. I'm just returning the favor. What are friends for? But as they walked toward the checkout, Diana made a mental note to speak with him later, alone, on what was bothering him. At the register, Goku pulled out a sleek black card, one of the few remnants of his time working for Lex Luthor, and he handed it to the cashier without even glancing at the total. Lois's jaw dropped as the machine beeped approval. Hold on. Since when do you have an unlimited credit energy? Goku shrugged. Lex paid me a lot. I just never spent it. Lois groaned, rubbing her temples. Of course, the guy who wears the same gi every day is secretly loaded. She shot Diana a look. And you let him dress you in his clothes. Diana smirked. I was unaware of his financial situation. Lois grumbled. Something about unfair superhero economics before grabbing her keys. All right, I've done my good deed. Try not to cause any more chaos before the interview. Goku waved. Thanks, Lois. We'll fly back. Lois paused, eyeing Diana's shopping bags. You're going to fly back in that suit? Diana simply levitated slightly off the ground in response. Lois sighed. Right. Forgot who I was talking to. With the final wave, she drove off, leaving the two heroes standing outside the store. Goku turned to Diana. You ready to head back? She studied him for a moment before nodding. Yes. But first, we should talk. Goku's smile faltered. He knew exactly what she meant. Once they were alone on a quiet rooftop, Diana turned to Goku, her gaze steady. You've been distracted all day. What troubles you? Goku blinked, scratching his head. That obvious, huh? He sighed, dropping his usual grin. It's just something Piccolo said that I've gotten weaker because I've been relying on the team too much. Diana crossed her arms. And you believe him? Goku frowned. I don't know, maybe. Back when I trained with Kami, I pushed myself every day. Now, he flexed his hand as if testing his own strength. What if I've been slacking off? Diana shook her head. Piccolo lost because he decided to fight alone. That isn't strength, it's arrogance. Goku's brow furrowed. But what if the next enemy is stronger than all of us combined? His mind flashed to a picture of Frieza, a being who could obliterate planets on a whim. What then? Diana placed a hand on his shoulder. Then you adapt to that situation, as you always have. Goku exhaled sharply. I just don't want to let anyone down. Diana smiled softly. Then trust your instincts. Trust your heart. Train harder if you must, but never forget why you fight. Goku mulled over her words as the sun dipped below the horizon. Finally, he nodded. Yeah, you're right. I always said that I fight for self-improvement. With a final glance, they parted ways. Diana back towards the League headquarters, and Goku back to Titan's Tower, both lost in thought. As Goku soared through the night sky, Diana's advice echoed in his mind. Trust your heart. Maybe he could balance teamwork and personal growth. Maybe. His thoughts were cut short as Titan's Tower came into view, and with it, an unexpected sight. The door slid open to reveal the team gathered around a new face. A blonde girl in a cropped black shirt, looking both nervous and determined. Goku, Beast Boy cheered. Meet Terra, our newest member. Goku blinked, then grinned. Hey, nice to meet you. Terra offered a small smile. Yeah, you too. As the others filled him in, Goku felt a spark of renewed energy. Maybe this new blood is exactly what he needed. The team was growing. This would be a perfect time for him to grow as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this episode, man. I decided, make it more laid back on a personal tip. Peace. Alright, we back. Goku and Teen Titans episode 5, Shadows and Secrets. And I bet this thumbnail goes viral. Let's get to it. A new Titan rises in the days following Goku's return from his outing with Wonder Woman. The Titans welcome their newest member, Terra, a blonde-haired girl with a quiet intensity and a mastery over Earth that rivals some of the team's heavy hitters. Goku had been the first to notice her raw potential during their initial training sessions, while the others marveled at her ability to reshape entire landscapes with a flick of her wrist. Goku had sensed that there was something else within her, some type of hesitation, a flicker of doubt beneath her confident exterior. You got some serious power, he told her, after she effortlessly lifted a boulder the size of a car. But you're holding back. Why? Terra stiffened, her blue eyes darting away. I just don't want to break anything. Goku grinned. Break stuff. That's how you learn to control. She had smirked at that, and for a moment the tension in her shoulders was eased. But Goku wasn't blind. He saw the way her hands trembled when she thought no one was looking, the way she flinched at sudden noises. The rest of the team had taken to her quickly. Beast Boy cracked jokes to make her laugh. Cyborg offered tech support, monitoring her seismic tremors with his sensors, and Starfire showered her with Tamaranian snacks. But Goku, he slightly kept his distance. Not really out of distrust, but because something else was weighing on him. The isolation of training. Since his conversation with Diana, Goku had thrown himself back into training with a near obsessive intensity. The tower's state-of-the-art combat simulators ran non-stop, pushing him beyond his previous limits. He watched footage of holographic versions of Superman, Wonder Woman, and even himself in combat with other villains, trying to figure out ways that he can improve himself, or anything to sharpen the edge in future battles. The others noticed the change in him as well. "Yo, Goku," Cyborg called one evening, leaning against the gym doorway. "You been in here for 6 hours straight. Take a break, man." Goku, mid-push-up, didn't stop. "I'm good." Beast Boy, now perched on Cyborg's shoulder and squat. "Dude, even Raven thinks you're overdoing it, and she meditates in the dark for fun." But Goku just grinned and kept going. The truth was, Piccolo's words had buried deep. Maybe he had gone soft. He couldn't shake the fear that he had that if he slacked off, the next threat would be the one that he couldn't handle. So he trained alone. Robin watched from the shadows, arms crossed. He noticed that this wasn't the Goku that he knew. This wasn't the Goku that he was used to. The one who laughed through battles, who rallied the team with stupid jokes and unshakable optimism. This Goku was isolating himself in preparation, and Batman needed to know. So Robin gives a secret report that night. In the dim glow of the Bat computer, Robin's face flickered on the screen. He relayed his findings to Batman. "Goku's behavior has shifted," he said, voice low. "He's training harder than ever, but he's pulling away from the team. It's like he's preparing for something." Batman's cowl hid his expression, but his tone was ice. Or maybe he's preparing for someone. Robin hesitated. "You think Piccolo got to him? Or worse?" Batman's fingers tapped the console. "Keep monitoring him. If it becomes a problem with the group, it's not." Robin cut in, sharper than intended. Then quieter. "But I'll keep watching." The screen went dark, leaving Robin alone with his thoughts and a gnawing guilt that he had from spying on his friend. But Robin wasn't the only one keeping tabs on Goku. Terra sat cross-legged on her bed with a communicator hidden in her palm, and Slade's voice crackled through. "Report," he demanded. This Goku character is strong," she murmured, eyes flickering to her closed door. "Stronger than the others, but he's distracted from interacting with the group because he's training like a maniac." Slade hummed, considering, interesting. "And the team? Trusting, too trusting." Her fingers dug into her knees. "They don't suspect a thing." "Good." Slade's voice was a blade wrapped in silk. "Continue your observations. When the time comes, we'll strike where it hurts most." The communicator clicked off. Terra exhaled, staring at a reflection in the window. The girl looking back at her was a stranger, a spy, a liar. But she had no choice. Slade owned her. And soon, the Titans would pay the price. The next day, the city was under siege, multiple villains attacking at once, forcing the Titans to split up. Goku had already taken down his target, which was some rogue speedster named Boat. With a single well-timed chop to the neck, he had the criminal slumped over, and Goku stretched his arms and grinned. That was too easy. He then used his sensing abilities to see if any of his crew members were in trouble, and he could sense that Terra was struggling against something. So Goku didn't even hesitate. He shot into the sky, landing moments later in the middle of a ruined street, where Terra was locked in battle with an amorphous acidic villain. Plasmus roared, his gelatinous body surging forward, melting everything in his path. Terra gritted her teeth and stomped her feet. The ground beneath Plasmus split open, forming a massive sinkhole, and the villain tumbled in, his molten form struggling to climb out. "Nice move," Goku called, while charging the small ki blast. "Now hold him still." Terra clenched her fist, and the earth shifted, pinning Plasmus in place. Goku fired his blast, just enough force to knock the monster unconscious, back to his human form without vaporizing him entirely. The sludge solidified into an inert, rubbery mass around the hole, and Terra exhaled while wiping sweat from her brow. "Thanks. That could have gotten real messy." Goku grinned. "Nah, you had it handled. You're getting real good with..." Then a sharp beat cut him off. Terra's wrist device flashed red. Her expression darkened. I gotta go, she muttered, avoiding his eyes. Tell the others I'll be back in a few hours. Before Goku could even ask questions, she was already running away, her posture stiff. He frowned. That was weird. Terra followed the coordinates to an abandoned subway tunnel deep beneath the city. The air was thick with dampness, the only light coming from flickering bulbs overhead. Slade stood, waiting, arms crossed, his single eye gleaming in the shadows beside him. Enchantress hovered, her emerald aura casting eerie reflections on the walls. You're late, Slade said coldly. Terra clenched her fist. I came as fast as I could. What do you want? Slade gestured to the ground. Start digging. She hesitated but obeyed, pressing her palms to the concrete. The earth trembled, split it open until it revealed a glowing green stone buried beneath centuries of sediment. Enchantress's eyes lit up. The emerald of coercion. Perfect. Slade took the stone, examining it. Now split it. Terra swallowed hard but did his toe, using her powers to cleave the emerald into two jagged halves. Slade handed one back to her. Now's the fun part. Enchantress began chanting her magic, weaving around the stones, a dark energy pulsed between them. What is this? Terra asked, unease creeping into her voice. Slade smirked. This is your next assignment. Enchantress's spell was completed. The two emerald halves now hummed with an unnatural connection. The enchantment is simple, Slade explained, handing one half back to Terra. Whosoever holds the dominant half controls the will of the other bearer. Terra's stomach twisted. You want me to control someone? Slade's smirk widened. Not just someone. Goku. Terra's breath hitched. What? No. That's an order, Slade interrupted, voice like steel. Give him the stone. When the time comes, we'll activate the link, and then, his eyes glinted from beneath his mask, the strongest Titan becomes one of ours. Terra stared at the emerald that was in her hand, her fingers trembling. She had no way out of this. Slade owned her in her mind. She had those mental shackles, and now he was about to own Goku too. Terra stepped back in the Titan's tower, the automatic door sliding shut behind her. The common room was alive with chatter. Beast Boy was mid-story, flailing his arms as he recounted their battle with Cinderblock, while Cyborg laughed and Starfire hovered nearby, nibbling on some fruit. Terra, Beast Boy cheered, shifting into a green dog and bounding over. You missed me doing the legendary wolf impression mid-fight. Cyborg rolled his eyes, more like yipping like a chihuahua. Starfire floated closer, smiling warmly. We are most pleased that you have returned safely. Terra forced a grin, scanning the room. Thanks, guys. So where's Goku? Training again. Raven muttered from the couch, not looking up from her book. He's been at it non-stop since this morning. Terra's fingers brushed against the emerald choker that was in her pocket. Good. He's distracted, she thought to herself. She joined the others, laughing at Beast Boy's terrible impressions, but her mind was elsewhere. Just a little longer, then I can act, she thought. Goku wiped sweat from his brow as he finally powered down the training simulator. The simulation faded, leaving him alone in the dimly lit room. His muscles ached, but the burn was satisfying. Still not enough. He trudged to his room, the tower silent except for a hum of cyborg systems. In sleep mode, slumping onto his bed, he exhaled deeply, staring at the ceiling. And then there was a knock-knock. Goku blinked. Huh? The door slid open slightly, revealing Terra. Hey, she said softly. Can I come in? Goku sat up, surprised. Sure. What's up? She stepped inside the door, closing behind her. I wanted to talk to you alone. Something in her tone made him pause. He didn't think that this was just some type of social call. Terra shifted on her feet, avoiding his gaze. I wanted to thank you for earlier. You didn't have to help me with Plasmus, but you did. Goku grinned. Hey, that's what teammates do. She nodded and hesitated. I also have something for you. Something that'll help with your training. Goku tilted his head. Oh, like a new technique? Better, she said, forcing a smile. But we have to go somewhere private. Can't let the others see. It's a present. Terra wanted to get Goku away from the Titans just in case so they wouldn't see her plan in action. Goku's instincts prickled. Why the secrecy? But Terra had never given him a reason to doubt her, so he said, all right, he said, standing, lead the way. The abandoned warehouse was cold. Moonlight streaming through broken windows. Dust swirled as Terra led Goku to the center of the room. Okay, Goku said, rubbing his arms. What's the big secret? Terra turned to face him, her expression unreadable. This. From her pocket, she pulled out half of a jade stone choker. Before Goku could react, she clasped it around his neck. The stone pulsed faintly. Goku touched it, confused. How's this supposed to help me train? Terra took a step back, her voice barely above a whisper. It's not for training. A shadow moved in the darkness. Slade stepped forward, holding the other half of the stone. It's for control. Goku's eyes widened as a voice stepped out. Terra lowered her head, her fists clenched at her sides. She couldn't bring herself to look at Goku, not when she knew what was about to happen. Slow, deliberate clap echoed through the warehouse. Well done, Terra, a familiar chilling voice said from the darkness. I knew you wouldn't disappoint. Slade Wilson stepped into the dim light, his orange and black armor gleaming faintly, his single visible eye locked onto Goku with cold amusement. This, Slade said, gesturing at the jade choker around Goku's neck, is going to help you train in ways you never imagined. After all, what better way to test your true strength than to go against your very own friends? Goku's expression darkened. What is this, Slade? Goku's fist tightened, his voice low and steady. You know, I was wondering when you finally crawl out of the shadows. Slade chuckled. Behind his mask, the sound devoid of warmth. You know, patience is a virtue, Goku. And now, the wait is finally over. The wait is finally over. To Goku's shock, Slade moved beside Terra, resting a gloved hand on her shoulder. You, Goku's eyes flicked between them. Realization drawing. Terra. She still wouldn't look at him. Slade's grip on her tightened slightly. She played her part beautifully. Terra's breath hitched as Slade's arm draped around her like a twisted, fatherly embrace. You've done well, he murmured, his voice sickeningly approving. Even better than I expected. Goku's shot turned to something far colder. Terra, what is this? What did he do to you? She finally met his gaze, her blue eyes filled with something between regret and resignation. I didn't have a choice, she whispered. Slade smirked. Nonsense. She had a choice. And she made the right one. Goku's patience snapped. Enough, he snarled. Tired of the manipulation, he lunged forward. And then his body locked up. A searing pain shot through his veins as his vision flooded with green light. His muscles convulsed, his limbs began moving against his will. The jade stone pulsed violently against his throat. Slade held up the other half of the emerald, its glowing mirroring Goku's choker. You see now, don't you? Slade stepped closer, his voice dripping with triumph. You're not the one that's in control of yourself anymore. Goku gritted his teeth, fighting the magic that was coursing through him, but it was no use. His body wouldn't obey his commands. Slade leaned in, his breath hot against Goku's ear through his mask. Welcome to your new role. You're one of us now. Goku's eyes burned with helpless rage as the enchantment claimed him. Right? So that's where we're going to end it on this episode 5. I actually already have episode 6 written. I just got to get the pictures ready, man. Drop a like, man. Be back soon. Gone. Yeah, we back. Goku and Teen Titans episode 6. Friends are now foes. So let's get into it. The morning sun cast a golden glow over the Titan's tower as Terra stepped through the sliding doors, her boots clicking softly against the polished floor. The common room was alive with activity. Cyborg was tinkering with gadgets. Beast Boy was sprawled on the couch in a sloth form. Raven was levitating in her meditative state, and Starfire was humming as she arranged a plate of alien fruit. Robin was the first to notice her. Terra, he said, glancing past her. Where's Goku? We thought he was with you. Terra froze for the briefest second before forcing a casual shrug. No, I came alone. Beast Boy shifted back to human form, frowning. Wait, really? He didn't come back last night? Cyborg's optics whirred as he pulled up the tower's logs. Nah, man. His biometrics show he left around midnight, and he never came back. Starfire's brows furrowed. That is most unusual. Goku always informs us if he will be absent. Raven's eyes flicked open. Her gaze was sharp as it landed on Terra. You sure you didn't see him? Terra swallowed, her fingers twitching at her sides. I'm positive. Maybe he just went on a solo training trip or something. Robin's jaw tightened. Goku wasn't the type to vanish without a word. Something was wrong. But before they could press it further, the tower alarm blared to life. The main screen flickered to life, displaying the live news feed. The headline said, "Breaking news. Superpowered teen liberates Blackgate prisoners." The footage showed a figure clad in orange and blue, Goku, standing atop the prison's shattered walls. His expression eerily blank. Behind him, a flood of criminals poured into the streets, laughing, cheering, some already turning their newfound freedom into chaos. Beast Boy's jaws dropped. No freaking way. Cyborg's system stuttered in disbelief. That's not him. It can't be. Starfire's hands flew to her mouth. Goku would never do this. Raven's eyes narrowed. Something must be controlling him. Robin's stomach twisted. This was worse than he feared. Batman's warnings echoed in his mind. If Goku steps out of line, I need to know. And now the entire world was watching their team leader become what seems to be a villain. The room was thick with tension, the weight of betrayal pressing down on them all. Robin inhaled sharply, forcing his emotions into a steel box. "We don't have time to process this," he said, voice steady. "Right now, Goku or whatever's controlling him is unleashing every dangerous criminal in the city. Innocent people are in danger." Cyborg clenched his fist. "So what's the plan? We can't just fight him." "We don't have a choice," Robin snapped. "We contain him, we request backup to stop the prisoners, and we find out who did this to him, if he even is actually under some sort of mind control to begin with." Beast Boy, uncharacteristically serious, nodded. "Then we should move now." Starfire ignited her starbolts. "We will save our friend." Terra stood silent, her heart pounding. This was her fault, after all. And as the Titans suited up, she knew one thing was for certain. Slade's game had just started. Goku's hand crackled with energy as he prepared to obliterate the reinforced door of Blackgate's superhuman wing. Inside, some of the most dangerous metahumans in the city were waiting. Men and women who could level entire blocks if they were freed. His fingers tensed, his blank eyes locked onto his target. Boom! A searing blast of cerulean energy struck him from the side, sending him crashing through 3 concrete walls before he skidded to a stop in the prison yard. Dust billowed around him as he slowly rose, his body unharmed but his expression still eerily vacant. Then, silhouetted against the smoke, the Teen Titans landed in formation. Cyborg's sonic cannon hummed, still smoking from the shot. Beast Boy crunched low, already shifting into something fierce, and Raven's dark aura pulsed ominously, while Starfire hovered above, with her fists glowing green. Robin stood at the front, his Eskrima sticks crackling with electricity. Goku tilted his head as if studying them, but there was no recognition in his eyes. Starfire took a step forward, her voice trembling with disbelief. "Goku," she whispered, "what are you doing?" No answer. Her fists clenched, her starbolts flickered uncertainly. "This is not you. You would never free these criminals. You would never," his aura erupted. A shockwave of raw power blasted outward, kicking up debris and forcing the Titans to brace themselves. The ground beneath him cracked, his hair lifting slightly as energy crackled around him. His eyes, usually so full of warmth, were cold and empty. And he said nothing. Robin's grip tightened on his staff. He had seen Goku fight before, had trained with him, sparred against him, and he knew exactly how dangerous he was when he was actually trying. "Fall back," he ordered, voice low and urgent. Now Beast Boy balked. "What? We can't just..." "Now, Garfield," Robin snapped. "This isn't a fight we can afford to hesitate in. One wrong move and we're done." Cyborg's optics flickered as he analyzed Goku's stance. "He's definitely hostile." Raven's hands glowed black. "Then we cannot afford to hold back either." Robin's mind raced. They needed a plan. Then Goku's lips twisted into a smirk. But it wasn't his smirk. A distorted, hollow voice echoed from Goku's throat. A voice that wasn't necessarily his. "Titans, go." The words dripped with mocking amusement, a sick parody of Robin's usual battle cry. And then Goku moved. 1 second he was standing there, the next, Crack! Robin barely raised his staff in time to block a kick that would have shattered his ribs. The force sent him skidding backward, his arms screaming in protest. Beast Boy lunged as a dinosaur, but Goku grabbed him midair and slammed him into the ground hard enough to crater the pavement. Cyborg fired his sonic cannon, but Goku vanished and reappeared behind him with an elbow to the spine to send the half-metal titan face first into a wall. Starfire unleashed a starbow barrage. Goku weaved through them like they were standing still. Closing the distance in a blink, his fist rocketed toward her stomach. Thoom! A black energy barrier flared to life just in time as Raven gritted her teeth at the impact that was rattling her shields. He's too fast, she hissed. Goku's head turned toward her, his hollow gaze locking onto hers. Then Slade's voice came through him again, cold and amused. You should have listened to Batman, Robin. Surely you should have seen this coming. Robin's blood ran cold. How did Goku, or whoever was controlling him, know? Goku's fist clenched while his aura flared brighter. Then the real fight began. Goku's fist rocketed towards Cyborg's chest, but the half-machine titan reacted just in time, his reinforced forearm snapping up to block. The impact sent a shockwave through their battlefield, a deafening clang reverberating through the air like a hammer striking an anvil. Cyborg's servers whined in protest, his boots grinding backward from the sheer kinetic force. Damn, that stings, Cyborg growled, his metal plating vibrating from the blow. His synthetic nerves were registering the pain, but his reinforced alloy held still. Goku didn't let up. His other fist came in a blur, another brutal strike that Cyborg barely deflected. The second hit sent a visible ripple through the metal, the sound waves making Beast Boy cover his ears with a wince. That's got my ears ringing like crazy, Beast Boy yelped, shifting into a slug to dampen the noise. Cyborg gritted his teeth, his arm cannon charging. Yeah, well, try taking the punch. Goku smirked, cold, unnatural, before twisting mid-air and delivering a spinning kick that sent Cyborg skidding across the pavement. Terra saw her open, and with a sharp stomp, the ground beneath her gave away and split open on top of Goku, jagged fissures racing outward before the earth itself seemed to swallow him whole. The ground churned like quicksand, dragging him down as tons of dirt and rock collapsed inward. I got him, Terra gasped, sweat beading on her forehead from the effort. For a moment, the battlefield was silent. Then, boom! A geyser of rubble exploded upward as Goku burst free in a flash of golden energy. His grin widened as his eyes locked onto Terra. Nice try, Slade's voice taunted through him, but the dirt could never hold someone like me. Terra's breath hitched because he was looking right at her. But before Goku could lunge at Terra, Raven's hand snapped open. The shattered debris from his escape halted mid-air, suspended in her dark magic. Azeroth Metreon Zenthos! With a flick of her wrist, the rocks hurled back at Goku like cannon fire. Each one glowed with violent energy, striking him with enough force to send him stumbling backwards. One jagged slab smashed into his ribs, another chipped his shoulder, another clipped his knee, each hit carrying the weight of Raven's magical power. Goku grunted, skidding across the pavement before steadying himself, clearly annoyed from the attack. But Raven wasn't done. She raised more rubble up that was this time covered in a handful of explosive charges set by Robin, who planted them in the swirling mask. Then the debris ignited, wreathed in both Darth magic and fire. Eat this, Raven muttered, thrusting her palms forward. The enchanted shrapnel slammed into Goku. Kaboom! The detonation lit up the street, a rolling fireball consuming the space where Goku stood. Smoke billowed outward, obscuring everything. For a heartbeat, the Titans waited. Then, a silhouette appeared behind the smoke. Goku emerged from the smoke like a phantom, faster than sight, his fist already cocked back to drive Robin into the earth. The boy wonder barely had time to register the killing strike before, boom! A searing starbow slammed into Goku's side, blasting him off course and cratering the pavement where he stood. Starfire hovered above, her eyes glowing with green fury, her hands crackling with emerald energy. You will not hurt him, she roared, unleashing another volley of energy. Goku flipped midair, skidding backward as the blast hammered into him. The ground trembled beneath with each impact, but he never fell. Instead, his head slowly tilted up, locking onto Starfire with eerily calm with an eerily calm expression. Then his palm began to glow blue. "Oh, no, you don't," Beast Boy said as he began to transform himself again. Just as Goku prepared to retaliate, a glob of thick, sticky alpaca spit splattered across his face. "What the?" Slade's voice gagged through him as Goku's hands flew to his eyes, temporarily blinded. Beast Boy, now a grinning green alpaca, spat again. "Nasty, huh? Try seeing through that." Starfire didn't waste the opening. Now, her starbolt hammered Goku downward, smashing him into the street, hard enough to spiderweb the concrete. The impact sent shockwaves ripping outward, dust and debris exploding into the air, and for a moment the battlefield was still. Then, a low, guttural voice echoed from the crater. Miles away in his hidden lair, Slade's fist slammed into the control console. "Pathetic," he snarled. "He's stronger than all of them combined. So why the hell is he struggling?" Enchantress was already halfway out the door when she smirked over her shoulder. "It's because he's fighting your control, Slade." Slade's eyes narrowed. "The farther he is from the controller, the weaker the hold is," she explained. "And that guy's will is incredibly strong," she said admirably. Slade exhaled sharply, reassessing. Then I'll adjust. His fingers tightened around the emerald shard. "Goku, it's time to come home." The Titans braced for another assault as Goku pulled himself from the wreckage, but instead of attacking, he launched into the sky, streaking away like a comet. "Wait, what?" Beast Boy blinked. "He's running?" Robin's eyes narrowed. "No, he's being led." Cyborg scanners beeped. Guys, I think Robin just tagged him." Robin held up a tiny tracker, his signal blinking on his wrist display. "We have to follow him now." Starfire's fist clenched. "Then we can save him." As the Titans took off in pursuit, one question burned in their minds. Who was controlling their comrade, and where was Goku going? Night was beginning to fall, just as the Titans prepared to storm Goku's last known location. Raven threw out an arm, halting them mid-step. "Wait," she said, her voice low. "That choker around his neck. It's pulsing with dark energy. It has to be the source of the control." Cyborg's optics zoomed in on the tracker feed. "She's right. That thing's emitting some kind of strange frequency." Robin's jaw tightened. "Then we target it, break the choker, which means we'll break Slade's hold." Beast Boy shifted nervously. One problem. How do we get close enough to break it?" Starfire's fist ignited. "We must distract him." Raven's eyes glowed. "Yeah, and I'll remove it." The abandoned building loomed ahead, its broken windows like hollow eyes. The Titans moved cautiously inside, their footsteps echoing in the darkness. Then, a flicker of movement. Goku stood in the center of the room, unnervingly still, his eyes blank. Before they could react, a slow clap echoed from the shadows. "Bravo," Slade's voice purred as he stepped into the view beside Goku, his mask glinting in the dim light. "You actually made it this far." Robin's grip on his staff turned white-knuckled. "Slade!" The mercenary tilted his head. "Well, who else could it have been, my dear boy?" Slade smirked, then he placed a hand on Goku's shoulder. "But in truth, this was only possible thanks to one special person." Then Terra stepped forward, her face unreadable, her blue eyes avoiding the Titan's gazes. "No," Beast Boy whispered, his voice cracking. Cyborg's system stuttered in disbelief. "Terra?" Starfire's fist trembled. "You did this?" Terra didn't answer. She didn't have to. The hurt in Beast Boy's eyes said everything. Slade chuckled, raising the emerald shard. "Enough talk. Let's see how you handle him unsuppressed." The choker around Goku's neck flared. His muscles tensed, his aura erupted and shook the building. Robin barely had time to shout, "Titans, scatter!" Goku moved, and hell followed. Goku blurred forward, his movements sharp and predatory. His sights locked on Cyborg. The cybernetic Titan barely had time to react before Goku was back in his face, feigning left before twisting mid-motion. Cyborg's arm cannon whirred, charging instinctively. "Gotcha!" At the last second, Goku yanked Cyborg's wrist, forcibly redirecting the blast. Kaboom! The sonic pulse slammed into Starfire point blank, hurling her backward into a concrete pillar, hard enough to crack the wall. She gasped, stunned. Her starburst flickered out as she slumped to the ground. "Star!" Cyborg shouted, horrified, but Goku didn't even flinch or hesitate. Cyborg's system stuttered in shock, just long enough for Goku to strike. Crack! A brutal headbutt smashed into Cyborg's forehead, the impact denting his metal plating. Sparks flew as his optics shorted out for a split second. Goku didn't let him recover. Grabbing him by the torso, he hurled Cyborg like a rag doll, sending him crashing right beside Starfire in a heap of groaning metal. Beast Boy, still reeling from Terra's betrayal, snarled, "Terra, why are you helping him?" Goku's empty eyes flicked to him next. But Robin lunged first, his electrified staff aimed straight for Goku's ribs. Snap! Goku caught it mid-swing, his grip unbreakable. Slade's laughter echoed through the room. "Really, Robin? That was your plan?" Robin smirked. "Yeah, and I think the distraction worked." Goku's eyes flickered just as Raven's magic wrenched at the choker that was around his neck. The emerald stone began to crack. The choker strained against Raven's telekinesis, the dark enchantment fraying. But then Terra stomped, and the ceiling collapsed atop Raven in an avalanche of rubble and debris, burying her in an instant. "No!" Beast Boy screamed. Slade's grin widened. Game over. Goku's fist reared back. A low, metallic chuckle rumbled from behind Slade's mask as he surveyed the wreckage of the Titan's last attempt. Raven lay buried under rubble, struggling to get back up. Starfire and Cyborg were dazed against the wall. Robin gripped his fractured staff out of ideas, all while Goku stood motionless, awaiting his next command. "Perfect," Slade mused, his voice dripping with satisfaction. He turned to Terra, placed a gloved hand on her shoulder in mock praise. "Your loyalty has been invaluable." Terra didn't meet his eye. Her fingers twitched at her sides, but she said nothing. Slade's grip tightened slightly. "Now, let's finish this, shall we?" Beast Boy stepped forward, his usual grin replaced by something raw and desperate. "Terra," he said, voice crackling, "you don't have to do this. You're better than him. And you're better than this." She flinched, her gaze dropping to the cracked floor. "Look at me," Beast Boy pressed, taking another step. "This isn't you. I know it isn't." For a heartbeat, Terra's resolve wavered. Her hands trembled. Slade's eyes narrowed behind his mask. "Enough with your distractions." Goku stepped forward, his hollow eyes locking onto Beast Boy. Slade's laugh was cold. So the last Titan standing is the Animal Circus Act. How fitting. He gestured mockingly. "Why don't you turn yourself into a donkey? That way, when Goku kicks you into the ground, he'll at least be kicking an ass." Beast Boy's fist clenched, but he didn't rise to the bait. Instead, he took a slow, steadying breath. Goku advanced, his aura flickering with restrained power. Beast Boy didn't move. "All right," he muttered, more to himself than anyone. "Let's see if this will actually work." His eyes flicked upward to the gaping hole in the roof, where the full moon was shining brightly. Here goes nothing. And then he changed into something new. A guttural roar shook the ruined building as Beast Boy's body expanded in size, muscles bulging with green fur sprouting across his green skin, his form twisting into a monstrous emerald-furred Ozaru. The Titans gasped as his transformation mirrored Goku's Great Ape form, a primal power born from moonlight and desperation. Goku barely had time to register the change before a massive heavy fist slammed him into the ground, hard enough to crater the street. The shockwave shattered windows blocks away as Beast Boy, now a roaring green beast, pinned him down, saliva dripping from his fanged jaws. "Wait," Cyborg choked out. "Since when the hell could he do that?" Slade's eyes widened behind his mask. "This is impossible." From the shadows, Terra watched the titanic clash, Beast Boy's Emerald Ozaru wrestling Goku through the streets. Their battle was shaking the city. His words echoed in her mind like a mantra. You don't have to do this. You're better than him. Her hands trembled. She remembered the Titan's laughter, Starfire's kindness, Robin's trust, and Beast Boy always believing in her, even now. A single tear rolled down her cheek. Slade was too fixated on the battle to even notice Terra moving. With a silent cry, she stomped. The ground beneath Slade's feet erupted. Jagged spikes of rock impaled the control console and the emerald stone that was in his hand. Terra, Slade snarled too late as he sunk into the closing rocks. The control stone shattered, and Goku was free as Terra began to crush her former colleague. Goku's eyes snapped back to their usual warmth as the emerald stone choker around his neck began to crumble to dust. He blinked up at the Emerald Ozaru wrestling him. Beast Boy? He croaked. Why are you a giant monkey? The Ozaru shrank rapidly, reverting to a panted, exhausted Beast Boy. Dude, he wheezed, grinning weakly. You have no idea what you just missed. As the Titans regrouped, bruised but unbroken, Goku remained confused as he surveyed the damaged area around him. Did I hurt anyone? He said quietly. Robin placed a hand on his shoulder. Not permanently. Starfire floated down, smiling softly. Welcome back, friend. The Titans rushed back into the crumbling building, their hearts pounding, only to find the battlefield eerily still. Terra was gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just an empty space where she had stood moments before, her absence heavier than the rubble that was around them. And then they saw it. A single gloved hand, limp and lifeless, protruding from a mountain of shattered stone. Slade's armor, once immaculate, was now buried beneath Terra's final act of defiance. The jagged rocks had crushed him completely, leaving only that twisted metallic gauntlet visible, fingers curled as if still grasping for control. Is he? Beast Boy whispered, his voice hollowed. Cyborg scanned the wreckage, his optics flickering. There's no vital signs. He's gone. A heavy silence settled over the group. They had won, at the cost of a life. Robin knelt, brushing dust from Slade's broken mask fragments. Terra did this. Starfire hovered close, her glow dimmed. She saved us, and then vanished. Goku stared at the rubble, his fist clenching. She didn't have to run. Raven's hood shadowed her face. Maybe she did. The dust had barely settled when a new figure emerged from the shadows the next day, his cold blue eyes gleaming behind circular spectacles. Dr. Gero stepped over the wreckage, his lab coat fluttering in the wind as he examined the rubble, trapping Slade's lifeless hand. Fascinating, he murmured, crouching to inspect the crushed armor. A mercenary of such skill reduced to a cautionary tale. His gloved fingers brushed the broken mask, tracing the fractures with clinical detachment. A slow, calculating smile spread across his face. But I can save you from death, to serve a greater purpose. From his coat, he produced a small device, a neural extraction module humming with sinister energy. With practiced precision, he attached it to Slade's exposed wrist, the machine whirring as it siphoned data from the mercenary's cybernetic implants. His combat algorithms, his strategic brilliance, his knowledge, his encounters. I will need you for my later experiments. Gero's voice was a whisper of anticipation. All preserved, all useful. The download was completed. He stood, pocketing the device. His gaze lingered on the battlefield, the scorch marks of Goku's energy, the shattered remains of Raven's magic, the indentation where Beast Boy's Ozaru form had crushed the earth. Machines, extract the body out of the rubble for potential salvage. And with that, he vanished into the night, leaving only the echo of his ambitions behind. So yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about this episode, man. Be sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share with people that would like to see this. Alright, I'm going to get on out of here. Gone. Peace. Alright, man. Goku and Teen Titans, Episode 7. Travels and Trials. Let's get into it. Goku sat cross-legged in the center of the Titan's tower. His usual grin was absent as he listened to Superman and Wonder Woman explain the situation. The room was tense, more serious than he'd ever seen it. You were under mind control, Diana said, her voice firm but not unkind. We know that. The Titans know that. But the rest of the city, the world, they only saw you break open Blackgate Prison. They saw you unleash criminals onto the streets. Superman crossed his arms, his expression unreadable. Public trust isn't something you can just punch your way back into, unfortunately. Goku, people are scared out there. They don't know if you're a hero or a ticking time bomb. Goku frowned at that statement. But I wasn't in control. Doesn't that count for something? It should, Diana admitted. But fear doesn't listen to logic. Right now the media is painting you as some type of threat. Until we can prove otherwise, the League has to be careful with how we wish to proceed. Goku clenched his fist. He had been used as a weapon by Slade, and now, for the first time, he was the one people were afraid of, and he hated it. Batman's holographic image flickered to life in the center of the room, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. Until further notice, Goku is suspended from active duty, he stated coldly. Robin will lead the Titans on all the missions, no exceptions. Goku blinked in disbelief. Wait, so I'm just stuck here? Batman's glare didn't waver. Consider it house arrest. The last thing we need is you causing some type of other panic before we can clear your name. Superman placed a hand on Goku's shoulder. It's temporary. We'll fix this. Goku exhaled sharply, but didn't argue. He didn't care about being a famous hero. He never did. Hell, he never wanted to be a hero to begin with. But being treated like he was a liability, like he couldn't be trusted, that's the thing that stung. Still, he forced a grin on his face. Hey, no big deal. More time to train, right? Batman's hologram disappeared without another word. Robin hesitated before speaking. We'll handle things out there. You just stay put, okay? Goku waved him off. Yeah. Go save the world without me. As the others suited up and left, Goku leaned back, staring at the ceiling. He knew who he was. But the question was, did anyone else? With the team out on patrol, the tower felt emptier than usual. Goku had already run through every training simulation twice, eaten 3 full meals, and he even tried meditating, which lasted a total of about 5 minutes before he got bored. Then the door slid open. Starfire floated a tray of Tamaranian snacks in her hand. I have returned, she announced cheerfully. Goku perked up. Hey, I thought you were on mission duty. Starfire set the tray down beside him. Robin deemed this assignment low risk, therefore I volunteered to keep you company. Goku grinned, grabbing a glowing purple fruit. Nice, so what's the plan? More sparring? Food challenge? Or are we finally going to watch one of those Earth movies you keep talking about? Starfire's eyes sparkled. I was actually thinking of the Earth movie marathon. It would be most enjoyable. Goku laughed. Sounds good to me. As they settled in, Starfire's expression softened. Goku, I wish to say something. He paused mid-bite. You are still our friend, she said firmly. No matter what the people outside these walls believe. Goku's grin faded slightly. He looked down at the half-eaten fruit that was in his hand. Yeah, I know. And for the first time since the incident, he actually felt like he meant those words. Because if Starfire believed in him, that was enough. For now. Starfire's communicator buzzed mid-movie, interrupting their laughter. She frowned, pulling out the small alien device, its screen flashing with unfamiliar dialect. Goku leaned over. Everything okay? Starfire's eyes widened as she read the message. It is from my homeworld, she murmured. They request my immediate return. They say it is urgent. Goku sat up straighter. What's going on, I wonder? Starfire shook her head. The message is vague. Only that my presence is required. She bit her lip. Her usual cheer dimmed with concern. This is most unusual. Tamaran does not summon me lightly. Goku simply scratched his head. What, you think it might be trouble? I do not know, she admitted, but I cannot ignore it. Goku nodded. Then we'll figure it out when the others get back. Starfire's fingers tightened around the communicator. Whatever was happening on Tamaran, it was serious, enough to pull her away from the Earth, and that alone was worrying to her. When the Titans returned, Starfire wasted no time explaining the situation. A summons from Tamaran, Cyborg echoed. Must be serious. Robin crossed his arms. Any idea what it's about? Starfire shook her head. Only that it is urgent. Wonder Woman, who had been monitoring communications, stepped forward. If Tamaran is reaching out, it must be dire. Their planet has faced instability before, from what Starfire has told us about her past. Batman's hologram flickered into view. We cannot ignore this. But with the escaped prisoners still at large, we cannot afford to send all of the Titans. Superman frowned. Then what do you suggest? A beat of silence passed. Then, I'll go. All eyes turned to Goku. Robin blinked. You? Goku shrugged. Yeah, why not? I'm benched here anyway. Might as well be useful. Batman studied him for a long moment, then to everyone's shock, he nodded in agreement. I agree. Robin whirled on him. You're letting him leave the Earth? But you wouldn't even let him go with us on Earth's missions. Batman's voice was ice. Precisely. Because of everything. Goku's presence here is a liability right now. So letting him assist Starfire accomplishes two things. It removes him from the public eye, and it ensures Tamaran has additional protection if needed. Superman crossed his arms. Yeah, he's not wrong. Cyborg whistled. That's some cold logic, Bats. But it's factual. Starfire beamed. Then it is settled. Goku shall accompany me. Goku grinned. Yeah, it looks like we're taking a trip. Batman's eyes narrowed slightly. Just don't cause an intergalactic incident while you're gone. The next morning, the Titans gathered in the tower's hangar as Starfire and Goku prepared for Tamaran, on the Tamaranian shuttle. Beast Boy whined, you guys better come back soon. Raven crossed her arms. Try not to destroy too much alien property, Goku. He laughed. No promises. Starfire hugged each of them tightly. We shall return as swiftly as possible. Robin gave Goku a firm nod. Watch her back. Goku smirked. Don't I always? With a final wave, the shuttle engines hummed to life, lifting off into the sky. The Titans watched until it vanished among the clouds. Whatever awaited them on Tamaran, one thing was certain. This journey wasn't going to be boring. The moment the shuttle was out of sight, Batman's hologram reappeared. Titans, debriefing room now. Confused, they followed. Once inside, Batman's cold tone left the room, no room for argument. This is an evaluation of Goku. Robin stiffened. What? Batman's glare was unreadable. Since his arrival on Titan's Tower, he has been a wild card. Powerful, yes, but unpredictable. Now that he's off-world, I want your honest assessments. Is he an asset as the leader, or is he too big of a risk? Cyborg frowned. So you really sent him away just to grill us about him? I sent him away because it was the optimal move, Batman corrected. But I need to know, can he truly lead this team? Silence fell. One by one, the Titans exchanged glances. This wasn't just a mission to brief. It was one of Batman's trials. And Goku wasn't even here to defend himself. As their ship glided through the void of space, Goku stretched and turned to Starfire. I wonder why your planet called you, like for you specifically. You got some kind of special job back home or something? Starfire hesitated, then sighed. There is something I have not shared with the team, she straightened, her voice regal. I am not merely a warrior of Tamaran. I am Princess Coriander, an heir to the throne. Goku blinked, then burst out laughing. No way. You're a princess too? Starfire blinked. You are not upset I kept this secret? Nah, Goku grinned. Just funny. First Wonder Woman, now you. Why are all my girlfriends royalty? Starfire's cheeks flushed green, but she giggled. Perhaps you attract noble company, friend Goku. They both laughed as the stars streaked past, the tension easing, but Goku's curiosity lingered. If Starfire was royalty, why has she really been summoned? It must be serious. When the ship entered Tamaran's atmosphere, the sight below stole their breath, to say the least. Vast stretches of land were withered, as if drained of life. Rivers ran sluggish and gray, and the once vibrant flora now curled into brittle husk. Even the sky seemed way dimmer. Its usual golden hue was muted. Starfire's hands pressed against the viewpoint. No, this cannot be. Goku frowned. What happened here? Starfire's voice trembled. Tamaran, is a world of solar energy. For it to be decaying like this, something must be draining it. The ship touched down in the capital, where the air itself felt quite thin. Starfire stepped onto her home soil, her heart heavy. Whatever crisis had called her back, it was worse than she had feared. Before they could take another step, a familiar voice cut through the silence. So, they called you here too, little sister. Starfire whirled. Blackfire stood smirking, her armor gleaming, and right beside her, with his arms crossed and tail flicking impatiently, was Goku's biological brother Raditz. Goku's eyes widened. You two? Raditz scoffed. I should have known you'd tag along, Kakarot. Blackfire's grin was razor sharp. The royal family must be desperate if they're summoning the both of us. Starfire's fist clenched. What are you doing here? Blackfire shrugged. Same as you. Daddy called. Goku's instincts flared. This reunion was quite unsettling, and he didn't trust the pair. The palace door swung open, revealing King Myander and Queen Luander, their faces lined with exhaustion. Daughters, the king rasped, you have come. Starfire rushed forward. Father, what is happening to Tamaran? The queen gestured to a holographic map. Our world is being siphoned. The source is here. A set of coordinates flashed, but every scout we have sent has mysteriously vanished. Raditz snorted. So you need competent scouts, like us, to clean up your mess. Blackfire smirked. Yeah, how typical. Goku crossed his arms. It must be someone ambushing your spies. The king's voice was grave. We will pay any price to save Tamaran. A dangerous offer, and Raditz planned to extort it. Raditz stepped forward, his smirk widening. Then let's talk numbers, old man. I'm not lifting a finger unless my pockets get fatter than your oldest daughter's backside. The court gasped. Starfire's face burned with outrage. You foul. The king raised a hand, silencing her. His voice was steel. Name your price, saying. Raditz chuckled. Now we're talking. Blackfire rolled her eyes at her partner's vulgarity. Can we please focus on the dying planet? Goku sighed. Yeah, let's just fight whatever's causing this. The king nodded. Yes, go, before it is too late. As the four departed, tensions simmered. Tamaran's fate and their uneasy alliance hung in the balance. The four warriors flew toward the coordinates, the landscape growing more desolate the closer they got. Raditz and Blackfire bickered about payment, while Starfire scanned the horizon with growing dread. And then they saw it. A monstrous alien tree with roots buried deep into Tamaran's crust, its gnarled branches stretching into the sky like skeletal fingers. The ground around it was barren, the earth cracked and lifeless, as if the tree had sucked the very soul from the soil of Tamaran. Goku's eyes narrowed. That tree's eating the planet. Blackfire hissed. I wonder why the scouts never returned. Trees can't punch last time I checked. Starfire's fist glowed green with fury. We must destroy it. Now. Raditz cracked his knuckles. Finally speaking my language, princess. Before they could move... Whoosh, boom. A searing energy blast slammed into them from below, scattering the group midair. Goku barely twisted in time to avoid a direct hit, while Starfire spiraled, catching herself just before crashing. Raditz snarled, skidding across the dirt. Who the hell? And then the figure emerged from the tree shadows, smirking. Well, well, looks like I've got more unexpected visitors. The stranger stepped into the light, with spiky black hair, identical to Goku's. A Saiyan tail was flicking behind him, but his skin was slightly darker than Goku's, and his armor was black and battle-worn, but his grin was sharp with arrogance. Goku's breath caught. Wait, you're another Saiyan? The man chuckled. Yeah, name's Turles, and yeah, I'm one of the last of our kind. Funny, I thought Frieza wiped out all the stragglers. Raditz's brow raised at that comment. Starfire tensed. You are the one draining Tamaran. Turles spread his arms. Guilty, but can you blame me? This tree's worth more than your planet. Turles patted the trunk of the monstrous tree. This big beauty is called the Tree of Might. Plant it on a planet, let it feast, and boom. It grows fruit that multiplies the consumer's power tremendously. Raditz's eyes gleamed at that. Wait, are you serious? Turles smirked. Deadly serious. Eat one and you'll be stronger than you've ever been before in your life. But it's a shame. This planet's got to die for it. But hey, everybody's got to make sacrifices. Goku's fist clenched at that comment. You're going to kill a whole world and its people just to get stronger. Turles shrugged. Survival of the fittest, kid. Raditz stepped forward, cracking his neck. Listen, Turles, I truly respect the hustle. But here's the thing. I'm already getting paid to burn this tree down. Turles' smirk faded. You turn down power like this for some money? Raditz grinned. Yeah, call me an old-fashioned working man. Blackfire scoffed. Men. Starfire ignited her starbolts. Enough talk. That tree must fall. Turles' eyes darkened. You'd fall first, Tamaranian. The battle for Tamaran was about to begin. Turles' smirk vanished, replaced by cold disdain. A real tragedy, he muttered, shaking his head. The last remnants of our race, and you choose to die on this foreign world for some foreign people. His fist clenched, energy crackling around him. Fine. I'll put you down like the weaklings you are. The air sizzled with tension, and then chaos erupted. Raditz lunged first, his arrogance outweighing his caution. You know, you talk too much, he roared, swinging a wild haymaker, and Turles didn't even flinch. In a blur, he vanished, reappearing just inches from Raditz's face. Too slow. Crack! His fist slammed into Raditz's jaw, sending the odor saying spiraling backward like a rag doll. Raditz crashed through a crumbling rock formation, coughing up dust. Pathetic, Turles sneered. Blackfire didn't wait. She unleashed a storm of violent starbolts, the air exploding in a dazzling barrage of purple. Stay still, you worm, Turles yawned, then teleported behind her. You can't even hit me. Before she could react, he slammed a key blast point blank into her spine, hammering her into the dirt. The impact sent a shockwave through the battlefield, while dust billowed up like a sandstorm. Blackfire groaned, holding her back, struggling to rise. Turles smirked. You know, you guys are some real amateurs. Goku and Starfire exchanged a glance, with no words needed. Then they moved as one. Goku dashed right, feinting high. Starfire streaked left, with her fist glowing green. Turles blocked Goku's punch, only for Starfire's starbolt to blast him in his ribs. Ugh! Goku followed up, driving a knee into Turles' gut. Starfire barraged him with a rapid-fire energy blast, pinning him in place. Boom! Turles crashed into the ground, skidding backward for the first time, his smirk flickering. Humph. Not bad. Goku and Starfire landed beside their fallen allies. Enough! Goku barked. This planet's dying while we're wasting time. Raditz spat blood. Tch, like I need your help. Blackfire scowled. Speak for yourself. I'd rather not die today on my home planet. Starfire's voice was still. Then we fight together, or Tamaran falls. A tense silence. Then Raditz grinned. Fine, but I'm taking the first shot at that bastard for some get back. Goku nodded. Deal. And the four warriors turned their eyes, and they locked on Turles. The real battle was about to begin. For the first time since the battle began, Turles was on the defensive. What had started as a one-sided slaughter had transformed into a relentless assault as all four warriors fought in somewhat sync. Raditz, despite his pride, stuck to the plan. He played distraction, using his raw power to keep Turles occupied with his heavy ki blasts and taunts. What's wrong, Turles? Feeling overwhelmed, he snarled, firing a Saturday crush that forced Turles to dodge. The moment Turles sidestepped, Blackfire struck. Her violent energy beams rained down in a precise barrage, forcing him to block, only for Starfire to slam into him from below with a super-powered starbolt uppercut that sent him up skyward. And then Goku was there, waiting. Over here. Turles barely had time to register the voice before Goku's foot connected with his spine, kicking him backward toward the ground. Like a meteor, the impact cratered the earth, dust exploding outward. Turles coughed, pushing himself up, only for Raditz to land on his back with a crushing double axe handle. Gah! Blackfire didn't let up. She got above him, firing a point-blank energy blast that sent him skidding across the battlefield. Turles staggered, his breath ragged. Annoying pest. But, for the first time, there was frustration that was in his voice. He wasn't just fighting 4 warriors anymore. He was fighting a team, and they had the advantage. Turles wiped blood from his mouth, his smirk returning as his eyes locked onto Goku and Raditz's tails. I must say that is some good teamwork, he admitted, before forming a glowing powerball in his palm. But let's see if we can break up these ranks now, shall we? And with a flick of his wrist, he hurled an artificial moon into the sky. Goku closed his eyes. Oh, no, you don't. Raditz, however, stared up in a dazed fascination, his pupils dilating as the primal transformation took over. Goku looked away to resist the transformation, but Raditz wasn't as disciplined, and he roared. His body swelled, muscles bulging as fur erupted across his skin. Within seconds, a 10-story tall Ozaru Raditz towered over them, his eyes burning with mindless rage. Blackfire cursed. You've got to be kidding me. The giant ape slammed a fist down, forcing Starfire and Blackfire to scatter. Goku barely dodged the swinging tail while gritting his teeth. Raditz, snap out of it. But Raditz was gone, lost to the beast, never able to train his form. While the chaos unfolded, Turles vanished into the battlefield's dust, while his laughter was echoing in the distance. Good luck cleaning up your mess, his voice taunted from the shadows. I'll be somewhere enjoying the show. With that, he retreated, leaving the group to deal with their own ally-turned-menace. Goku growled. Damn it, we don't have time for this. He turned to the sisters. Listen, fly at his face, distract him. While he's distracted, I'll cut off his tail. Starfire nodded. Understood. Blackfire scoffed, but obeyed, if only because the alternative was being crushed. The 2 Tamaranians streaked toward Raditz, snarled muzzle, unleashing a barrage of starbolts directly into his eyes. Rah! The Ozaru reared back, blinded by the light show. Now, Goku shot forward, his hands glowing with a razor-sharp key disc. One clean slice. The tail fell. Raditz's monstrous form shuddered, shrinking rapidly until he collapsed onto the ground, normal, in a daze, and utterly humiliated. Blackfire dusted herself off. About time you came to your senses, you damn idiot. Starfire sighed in relief. We must hurry. Turles is getting away. Goku clenched his fist. Yeah, we've got to finish this. The 4 warriors raced after Turles, their footsteps kicking up dust as they closed in on the monstrous tree. When they finally reached its gnarled roots, they found him standing beneath its twisted branches, grinning like a predator who had already won. In his hand, he clutched a single pulsing fruit, its skin an unnatural shade of crimson, veins of golden energy snaking across its surface. Took you clowns long enough, Turles sneered, lifting the fruit in a mock salute. Behold, a feast of its first fruits. Goku's stomach dropped. Don't. But it was too late. Turles bent down, and the effect was almost instant. A shockwave of energy erupted from his body, the ground trembling as his muscles swelled, his aura exploding into a rage inferno of power. His hair lifted, not from transformation, but from sheer, unrestrained might. Yes, Turles exhaled, his voice now laced with something darker. Now, this is some real power. His eyes locked onto them, glowing with sadistic amusement. Let's see how long you last now. The battle had just become impossible. Blackfire's eyes narrowed as she unleashed a full-powered violet starbolt, the beam screaming toward Turles with enough force to level a city block. Boom! The explosion engulfed, but when the smoke cleared, Turles was still walking, his smirk untouched. His enhanced body didn't even flinch. Cute, he chuckled, cracking his neck. But the taste of that fruit hit me harder than that. Blackfire's fist trembled. Impossible. Raditz snarled, thrusting his palms forward. Double Sunday! Twin energy beams slammed into Turles, detonating in a deafening explosion that kicked up a mushroom cloud of dust. But when the debris settled, Turles walked through unarmed. His aura flickered like a bonfire. Pathetic, he sighed. Is this all the last of the Saiyans have to offer? Raditz's confidence was shattered. Goku's senses screamed at him. Turles' energy was monstrous, dwarfing all of theirs combined. We can't win like this, he thought, but he couldn't back down. Starfire hovered beside him, her voice low. Goku, what do we do? His mind raced. Distract, evacuate, regroup. Then a plan formed. Trust me, Star. Close your eyes, he muttered. As Turles strode forward, basking in his invincibility, Goku clasped his hands together. Star Flare! A blinding white explosion of light engulfed the battlefield, forcing even Turles to stagger back, snarling. Ah, my eyes! In that split second, Goku and Starfire grabbed Raditz and Blackfire and blasted off into some unknown ruins before Turles could recover. By the time his vision cleared, they were gone. Turles roared in frustration, his voice shaking the dead trees that were around him. Run then! But this planet is withering away. Hidden in the shadows, Goku panted, his mind already working on the next move. They really only had one shot left, and it had to go perfectly. Raditz wiped blood from his lips, growling. Damn it, this is pointless. That bastard's power more than tripled. Blackfire crossed her arms. And whose fault is that? If you hadn't turned into a mindless beast, enough. Goku's voice cut through like a blade. No laughter, no hesitation. His eyes burned with an intensity that made even Raditz stiffen. For the first time they saw it, the raw warrior behind his carefree personality. Raditz shut his mouth, and Blackfire's jaw clicked shut. Starfire hovered closer, however. What do we do? Goku exhaled. We fight smarter. Right now, Turles outclasses all of us, Goku admitted, fists clenched. But that fruit gave him his power-up, which means, his gaze locked onto the distant tree of might in the distance. We need one of those too. Raditz's eyes widened. You're not suggesting. Yeah, we distract Turles, Goku said, nodding to Raditz and Blackfire. Keep him busy, make him think we're desperate. Meanwhile, he turned to Starfire. You find another fruit, Star. That's our only shot. Blackfire scoffed. You expect us to survive long enough for that? Goku's grin returned, sharp and dangerous. I guess we'll find out. Goku placed a hand on Starfire's shoulder. Listen, the second you hear the fight start, go. Don't wait, don't look back. Starfire hesitated. But how will I know? Boom. A thunderous explosion rocked the battlefield as Raditz and Blackfire blasted off, energy screaming through the air. Goku winked. Just wait for my distraction. Then he vanished as well, leaving Starfire alone with the fate of Tamaran weighing on her shoulders. Turles crossed his arms as the four warriors reappeared, his smirk widening. Back so soon, huh? I guess you missed me that much. None of them answered. Instead, Goku's eyes flicked upward to the power ball that was still hovering in the sky. Turles followed his gaze and then laughed. Oh, this should be good. Goku's body shuddered, his muscles swelling as fur erupted across his skins. Bones cracked, his form ballooning into a monstrous great ape, and he let out a monstrous roar. Turles clapped mockingly. Bravo! But you really think this changes anything? The Ozaru Goku slammed his fist down, and the real battle began. Starfire didn't hesitate. The second Goku transformed, she blasted off, streaking toward the Tree of Might like an emerald comet. Turles noticed, but before he could react, the great ape's fist hammered toward him, forcing him to block. Nice try, Turles snarled, shoving the massive hand aside. Your lady friend seems to be skipping town. I can't say I blame her. Starfire ignored him, her focus locked on the tree's pulsating branches. There had to be another fruit somewhere. Raditz grabbed Blackfire's arm, his voice uncharacteristically urgent. Listen, we need to guard my brother's tail. If Turles severs it, this plan falls apart, and we're dead. Blackfire yanked her arm free, scowling. Huh, fine. Just don't get in my way. Raditz grinned. Yeah, same to you. As the Great Ape Goku clashed with Turles, Raditz and Blackfire took position, their eyes scanning for any opening. Because one slip up, and it was all over. Turles dodged another earth-shaking swipe from Ozaru Goku, flipping mid-air with a grin. You know, I gotta admit, I'm impressed, he called out. Most low-class Saiyans lose their minds in this form, but you're actually thinking. I guess you trained it somehow. The giant ape roared, its red eyes locking onto him with unnerving focus. Turles chuckled. That's too bad, though, because control won't be enough to save you. Despite Goku's disciplined transformation, the Ozaru's size was working against him. Turles was faster, weaving between the massive limbs with ease. Every punch Goku threw, Turles dodged and countered, his fruit-enhanced strength making each blow stagger the beast. Crack! A well-placed kick to the Ozaru's jaw snapped its head back, saliva flying out of its mouth as he hit the ground. Turles smirked. You know, you're definitely the strongest out of your group, Kakarot. But I'm still stronger. Raditz and Blackfire weren't idle. Every time Turles charged a blast aimed at the Ozaru's tail, they intercepted. Not happening, Raditz snarled, deflecting a key beam with his own. Blackfire flew behind Turles mid-attack, forcing him to abandon his shot or risk a starbolt to the back of the neck, even though it was more of an annoyance than anything. It was a desperate distraction dance, but it was working, for now. Turles laughed suddenly, breaking away from the fight. There is more than one way to skin an animal, so why don't you say I end this? Instead of attacking Goku, he hurled a blast skyward. Boom! The power ball shattered, dissipating, its artificial light snuffed out. Goku's body began to convulse, shrinking rapidly back to his normal size as the transformation reversed, though he still kept his clothes because of the special clothing he had made for him, like Beast Boy did. But panting, he collapsed to one knee. Turles cracked his knuckles. Now, let's wrap this up. Turles charged a killing blast, his eyes flickering between them. Out of you three, who goes first? The reject princess or the failed low-class Saiyans? His hand snapped toward Blackfire. I choose you. Die! And then Raditz moved. Idiot, he barked, shoving Blackfire aside as the blast tore through his shoulder. Blackfire stared stunned. You? Raditz grimaced, blood dripping. Shut up. This doesn't mean anything. Turles sighed. How touching. He raised his hand again. But before he could pick his next target, wham! A green starbow slammed into his face, knocking him back. Starfire hovered above them. The fruit was coursing through her veins. Turles sneered, wiping blood from his lip. Pathetic. Even with that fruit, you're still... Whoom! A supercharged starboat, 10 times brighter than before, slammed into his chest, sending him rocketing backward. Through the air, he crashed into the trunk of the Tree of Might, bark splintering under the impact. Turles coughed, his armor cracked, his smirk gone. Starfire hovered above, her entire body pulsating with gold and green energy. Her eyes burned like twin suns. You were saying... Turles roared, pushing off the tree. He fired a massive key blast. Starfire countered, her own emerald beam colliding with his to a titanic struggle. The air sizzled, the ground quaking as their energies clashed, neither gaining any ground until... Now! Goku yelled. Raditz and Blackfire unleashed their remaining energy reserves, a desperate combined blast adding to Starfire's beam, and that's what turned the tide. Turles' attack buckled, his eyes widened in shock. No. The overpowered blast engulfed Turles, ramming him back into the Tree of Might with brutal force. The ancient trunk groaned, splintering, then it collapsed, its massive roots crushing Turles beneath its weight. The planet-eating tree had fallen and began to wither, its stolen energy dissipating back into Tamaran's soil. Silence, then... We did it, Raditz panted. Then he collapsed to his knees. Starfire floated down, helping Goku to his feet. Blackfire, after a hesitant pause, offered a hand to Raditz. He grunted, gripping his wounded shoulder. I need a damn vacation after this. Blackfire rolled her eyes, but there was no venom in it. I'll pay for your injuries this time, you idiot. Goku grinned, looking at the rejuvenating landscape. Hey, I think the planet's healing. Starfire smiled, squeezing his arm. Thanks to you. All of you. Raditz groaned, flopping onto his back. Yeah. Just don't expect me to do this thing again. But somewhere beneath the rubble, Turles' fingers twitched. But for now, it was a victory celebration. It was a victory celebration. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I actually have the script already ready for episode 8, which will be the final episode of this season of the Teen Titans arc. I think that's going to go well, too. I hope you guys like that as well. Until next time. Peace. Alright, man. Goku and Teen Titans episode 8, man. Season finale. The Teens Titanic. So let's get into it. I could have made this episode 2 parts, but I'm ready to end this saga right now. So I hope you guys enjoy the finale. And if you do, like and subscribe so I can get that 1,000 subscriber milestone out the way. Anyways, let's get to it. The debriefing room was tense as Batman's hologram loomed over the Titans, his cold gaze sweeping across each of them. This evaluation is non-negotiable, he stated. Goku's leadership has been reckless since he got here. His impulsiveness and blind trust has led to criminals getting broken out to wreak more havoc on cities. I need to know, can he even truly lead this team? Cyborg was the first to speak, his voice firm. You're wrong, Batman. Goku's not reckless. There is a method to his madness, because we have the highest mission success rate out of all the Titan factions, according to the numbers. Every villain we've taken down, his leadership was crucial. Beast Boy crossed his arms, nodding his head. Yeah, dude saved our butts more times than I can count. So what if he doesn't plan every move out like Robin does? His instincts are insane, man. Raven, usually the most reserved, added quietly. He's the reason we're a team, not just a group of heroes. He works with all of our individual personalities to optimize our performances. Starfire, though absent, had left a message. Her holographic image flickered to life, her voice unwavering. Goku is not merely our leader, he is our heart, the heart of the team. Without him, we would not be the same Titans. Robin, who had been silent until now, finally stepped forward. Batman's eyes locked onto him, expecting agreement. But instead, Robin's jaw set. Yeah, you're wrong about him. Goku is essential. He's the strongest of us, not just in power, but in spirit. He's excellent at keeping morale. Batman's expression remained unreadable, but after a long pause, he dismissed them, and the hologram flickered out. The evaluation was over. As the room exhaled, Cyborg smirked. Well, that actually went better than I expected. Robin allowed himself a small smile. Yeah, it did. Then the Titans stood united, and when Goku would return, they'd be waiting, ready to fight alongside him, just as he always had for them. And nothing could break up their group, right? The moment the others left, Batman's hologram flickered back to life, his voice low. Robin, stay. Robin hesitated, then turned, arms crossed. What now? Batman's tone was grave. I got your message from earlier. You're making a mistake, telling Goku about the surveillance. Trust can be a liability in our line of work. Robin shook his head. No secrets are what breaks teams apart. I won't lie to him anymore. Batman studied him for a long moment. Then, to Robin's surprise, he gave him a slow nod. Fine. But before you do, there's something you need to see. The back computer feed shifted, displaying grainy but unmistakable footage. Goku, younger, drenched in rain, gripping Aquaman's trident. King Piccolo lay before him, impaled through the chest, his lifeless body collapsing into the mud of the street. Goku's face was eerily calm. Barely any remorse and definitely no hesitation. Robin's breath caught. This was self-defense. Piccolo was a monster that was going to destroy a city and take over the world. Was it? Batman's voice was ice. Piccolo was beaten, disarmed. Goku didn't just win, he executed him. Robin clenched his fist. You don't know what Piccolo was capable of, even in that sound trap. Maybe Goku saw something that you didn't. I know what killers are capable of, Robin, Batman cut in. And I know the moment they cross that line, they'll justify it. Every single time. He leaned closer, the hologram's glow casting shadows across Robin's face. You think Goku's different because he smiles, because he jokes. But he is dangerous, a wild card. He doesn't see the line of the hero like we do. And one day when another monster stands in his way, he'll kill again. And he'll tell himself that it was right. Robin stood rigid, the weight of the footage pressing down on him. Batman wasn't just warning him, it was like he was preparing him, as if there would come a time that history would repeat itself yet again. Tell him the truth if you must, Batman said, turning away. But don't say I didn't warn you. When that day comes, he looks you in the eye and chooses violence over mercy. The hologram vanished, leaving Robin alone in the dark. For the first time, doubt once again began to creep in. Or I should say for the second time. Would Goku really cross that line again? Or worse, had he never left it behind to begin with? The Tamaranian shuttle hummed softly as it descended onto the tower's landing pad, its engines kicking up a light breeze. Inside, Starfire unbuckled her harness and turned to Goku, her emerald eyes glowing with gratitude. Goku, she began, her voice softer than usual. I wish to thank you again for everything. You did not have to come, yet you fought for my home as if it were your own. Goku stretched his arms with a grin. Hey, what are friends for? Besides, Earth put me on the bench anyways. Starfire smiled. But there was a weight behind it. Still, you risked much. Your life, your standing with the League. You even teamed up with your own brother who tried to kill you last time we saw him. Goku shrugged. Yeah, Raditz doesn't seem so bad anymore. And I never really cared about the League's view of me. He leaned back in his seat, hands behind his head. The real point is you needed help, so I helped. Simple as that. Starfire's expression softened. On any world, such loyalty is rare and precious. She hesitated, then added, You are a better friend than I deserve. Goku laughed it off. Nah, don't go getting all mushy on me now. Besides, you do the same for me, right? Without hesitation, Starfire said immediately. Then that's all that matters, Goku said, standing as the ship ramp lowered. Now come on, let's go see the others before Beast Boy eats all the pizza again. As they stepped out into the sunlight, Starfire felt something warm settle in her chest. Not just gratitude, but certainty. No matter what battles lay ahead, she knew one thing. Goku would always have her back, and she would always have his. The moment Goku and Starfire stepped off the ship, they were met with cheers. Beast Boy, already in the form of a hyperactive green puppy, bounded toward them before changing back and saying, You guys are already back. Did you fight any space monsters? Were there evil alien clones? Tell me everything. Cyborg clapped Goku on the shoulder. Yeah, don't leave out the good parts. Especially the part where you two somehow made Raditz play hero for once. Starfire laughed, her exhaustion fading under the warmth of her friend's excitement. Oh, it is quite the tale. There was a great battle, a monstrous tree, and... Hold that thought, Robin interrupted, his voice calm but firm, his masked gaze locked onto Goku. We need to talk. Privately. Goku blinked. Sure. He shot Starfire a questioning look, but she just smiled reassuringly before being swept up in Beast Boy's demands for more details about the evil fruit. As the others headed inside, already debating whether alien fruit counted as a superfood, Robin led Goku to the tower's observation deck. The city stretched out before them, bathed in twilight. Goku leaned against the railing. So, what's up? You look kind of serious. I mean, you always look serious, but more than usual. Robin exhaled, removing his mask. A rare gesture. His expression was unreadable, but his voice carried a weight that Goku had not seen before. It's about something I need to come clean about. Goku tilted his head. Okay. Robin met his eyes. I've been spying on you for Batman. A beat of silence. Goku's grin didn't waver, but his eyes, for the first time since his return, his eyes changed slightly since his arrival back. The night air was cool against their skin as Robin's confession hung between them. He expected anger, betrayal, at the very least, questions. Instead, Goku just smiled, a small knowing thing, and scratched the back of his head. Yeah, I kind of figured. Robin stiffened. What? I could sense you, Goku admitted, leaning against the railing. Late at night, when you sneak off to meet Batman, your energy's pretty distinct to me, you know. He chuckled. Plus, you're not as stealthy as you think you might be. Robin stared. You knew? This whole time? Mm-hmm. And you never said anything? Nope. Robin's fist clenched. Why? Goku simply shrugged, looking out over the city. I figured you'd tell me when you were ready. Not really my business what you and Batman have going on. Robin's breath caught. That was it? No fury? No accusations? Just acceptance? You don't care that I lied to you. Goku turned, his dark eyes reflecting the tower's mean glow. Robin, I've had people try to kill me since I left my family farm as a child. A little spying? His grin returned, wider this time. Besides, you're telling me now. That counts for something, right? Robin couldn't help it. He laughed, sharp and disbelieving. You're impossible, you know that? So I've been told. A beat of silence, then quieter. So you really don't hold it against me. Goku's smile softened. Nah, you're my friend. Friends make mistakes. Doesn't mean that they stop being friends. Robin exhaled, the tension draining from his shoulders. For the first time in months, he felt lighter. Thanks, he muttered. For what? Goku said, nudging him with an elbow. Now come on. I bet Cyborg's halfway through the story already. And I know he's getting the details told to him wrong, probably. As they walked back inside, Robin realized something. Goku did forgive too easy. Months had passed since Goku and Starfire's return, and life for the Titans had settled into a familiar rhythm. Missions were handled with precision, villains were thwarted, and the team's reputation had soared high, so high that whispers of the Justice League membership had begun to circulate for the team. Goku, reinstated as leader, took it all in stride, grinning through briefings and punching through problems with his usual enthusiasm. But while the team thrived together openly, Beast Boy had been carrying a secret. On quiet evenings, when the others were training or patrolling, he'd slip away to a secluded spot in Jump City, a hidden cliffside overlooking the ocean where Terra would be waiting. At first, their meetings had been cautious, tense. She'd apologize, he'd hesitate, but over time, the guarded conversations turned to laughter, and the distance between them shrank. Tonight, the sunset painted the sky in oranges and purples as Beast Boy landed in his falcon form, shifting back to human as his feet touched the grass. Terra was already there, her back to him, as she tossed pebbles into the waves below. Hey, he said, shoving his hands in his pockets. She turned, and for the first time in weeks, she smiled back openly. Took you long enough. Hey, Raven was doing her whole mystic meditation thing. You try sneaking past that. With her senses. Terra rolled her eyes but didn't argue. Instead, she patted the spot beside her. Sit. I brought snacks. Beast Boy plopped down, grinning as she pulled out a bag of his favorite chips. Okay, now I know you're trying to butter me up. Maybe, she smirked, but then her expression softened. Or maybe I just like this. Hanging out. Without the lies. Beast Boy's teasing faded. He studied her. The way the fading light caught in her eyes, the way her fingers fidgeted just lightly when she was nervous. Yeah, he said quietly. Me too. And for a moment, with the ocean breeze between them and the city lights flickering to life in the distance, it almost felt like things could be okay again. Almost. Because neither of them mentioned the unspoken truth. Eventually they'd have to tell the team. And neither knew how Goku would react when they did. Beast Boy leaned back on his hands, staring up at the glinting night sky. You know, once the Titans make it into the league, I'm going to put in a good word for you. Terra stiffened beside him. What? Yeah, he continued, grinning. You've got serious skills, and yeah, you messed up before, but so what? Everyone deserves a second chance. Might as well be with the Justice League, right? Terra was silent for a long moment when she finally spoke. Her voice was barely above a whisper. You do that after everything? Beast Boy nudged her with his elbow. Duh. That's what friends are for. She looked away, but not before he caught the way her eyes shimmered under the starlight. Their moment, however, was shattered by a cheerful voice from above. Sounds like a great idea to me. Gah! Beast Boy yelped, nearly falling backward as he and Terra whipped around to see Goku floating above them, upside down, grinning like an idiot. Terra's face paled. Goku? Hey guys, he said, levitating himself in midair. Nice night for stargazing, huh? Beast Boy clutched his chest. Dude, warn a guy next time. Goku just laughed. Wait, how did you even find us? Beast Boy demanded. Goku blinked. Key sensing? Did you forget? He tapped his temple. I've known about your little hangouts for weeks. Just figured I'd finally say hi. Beast Boy groaned, dragging a hand down to his face. Right, energy senses. How could I forget about that? Terra, still tense, eyed Goku warily. So, what now? Goku shrugged. Now we talk. Unless you want to run away again, he joked. After a surprising casual chat, mostly Goku rambling about Tamaran's food, he stretched up and floated up. Alright, I'm headed back, Terra. You're welcome to come with. She hesitated. I don't think I'm ready yet. Goku nodded. No rush, because the door's always open. And with the final wave, he shot into the sky. Beast Boy excelled. Well, that could have gone worse. Terra watched Goku disappear into the night, a tiny spark of hope flickering in her chest. Maybe, just maybe, second chances were possible. But the moment Goku's blue aura vanished into the night, the air itself seemed to grow heavier as a familiar cold voice cut through the silence like a blade. I'm disappointed in you, Terra. Terra's blood turned to ice. Slowly, she and Beast Boy turned, and there, standing in the shadows of the cliffside, was none other than Slade Wilson. His armor gleamed under the moonlight, his single eye burning with quiet fury. I can't believe you chose a green zoo animal, he continued, stepping forward, over the man who taught you everything you know. Beast Boy immediately stepped forward, positioning himself between Terra and Slade. Back off, creep. She's done with you. Slade didn't even glance at him. His gaze remained locked on Terra, who stood frozen, her fists trembling at her sides. Did you really think it would be that easy, Slade mused, that you could just walk away from me after everything I've gave you? Terra swallowed hard, but this time her voice didn't shake. You didn't give me anything. You just used me. Slade tilted his head. No, we used each other, my dear. You needed a purpose, and I needed a weapon. But now I am the weapon, with a new purpose. He flexed his gauntlet-clad hand, the metal whirring ominously. While you're still the same lost little girl clinging to the first freak who showed you kindness. Beast Boy growled. Terra, we gotta go now. But before they could move, Slade's arm cannon hummed to life, its targeting laser painting a red dot between Beast Boy's eyes. You can run if you want, Slade said softly, but we both know how this ends. Terra's breath hitched, because deep down, she did know, and that terrified her more than anything. Slade lowered his wrist cannon with a mocking amusement. Go ahead. Take your best shot. Beast Boy didn't hesitate. He shifted into a massive silverback gorilla with green fur and skin, and charged with a roar. Fists raised to crush Slade where he stood. Terra braced herself, ready to disrupt the ground beneath Slade the moment Beast Boy engaged. But Slade didn't even dodge. He simply raised a single hand and caught Beast Boy's crushing punch mid-swing. The impact should have shattered stone. Instead, Slade's arms didn't even tremble. Terra's breath caught. What? Beast Boy's gorilla eyes widened in disbelief as Slade held his massive fist effortlessly. The mercenary didn't strain. He didn't even stagger. He just stood there, gripping Beast Boy's knuckles like he was holding back a child. Surprised? Slade mused. Terra reacted instantly, stomping the earth to destabilize the ground beneath Slade. But before the tremors could reach him, Slade's boot simply left the ground. He was hovering. Beast Boy dangled from Slade's grip, his transformation flickering in shock. "As you can see," Slade said calmly, still levitating midair, with Beast Boy trapped in his grasp, "I've received upgrades in my absence." His exposed eye glowed faintly with cybernetic enhancement. "Strength, flight, sensory, overload, dampeners." Terra's fist shook. "Who did this to you?" Slade smirked. "A visionary. One who understands that the future belongs to those who choose to evolve." Then his grip tightened around Beast Boy's throat. Beast Boy gasped, his gorilla form shrinking back to human as Slade's fingers dug into his windpipe as he faded in and out of consciousness. His claws scraped desperately at Slade's armor until one lucky swipe knocked the mercenary's mask clean off. Slade's face was older than they remembered, weathered, with some scarring, but undeniably human beneath the machine. "You know," Slade mused, unfazed by the reveal, "I would love to snap your neck right now." His grip tightened further. "But fortunately for you, my engineer wants you alive, just like the others." Before Beast Boy could react, Slade's wrist injector hissed. A tranquilizer dart punched into his neck, and his vision blurred to blackness. The last thing he saw was Terra screaming his name before darkness swallowed him whole. Goku touched down on the Titan's tower balcony just as Batman's grim face filled the main monitor. The moment he stepped inside, the Dark Knight's piercing gaze locked onto him. "You're just in time," Batman said, his voice clipped. "Where's Beast Boy?" Goku rubbed the back of his neck, keeping his tone casual. He's going to be running late. He had some stuff to take care of. He didn't mention Terra to the group just yet." Batman studied him for a beat before continuing, then listened carefully. "Over the past 72 hours, multiple metahumans and aliens have vanished without a trace. High-profile targets." Cyborg's optics flickered as he pulled up holographic case files. No distress signals, no ransom demands, just poof, gone. Starfire's hands flew to her mouth. "This is most troubling. Could it be the work of that fearsome Five, or perhaps—" "No," Batman interrupted. "This seems organized, precise. Whoever's behind it has resources, a plan, and great stealth expertise." Robin crossed his arms. "Any leads?" "One." Batman's image shifted to security footage of a shadowy figure with a glowing red optic. Vaguely humanoid, but moving with unnatural precision. This was captured near Killer Croc's last known location. Enhanced strength, tactical awareness, and possible teleportation capabilities. Raven's eyes narrowed. "That's not a regular person. That must be a machine." Goku frowned, his instincts prickling. Something about this figure felt familiar with his movements. Batman's voice grew darker. "Until we know more, consider every unknown metahuman a potential abductor or victim. The Justice League is mobilizing, but the Titans need to be on high alert. No solo missions, no split-ups, and no unnecessary risk." Cyborg whistled. "Man, first Goku gets mind-controlled, now this? What's next? An alien invasion?" A beat of silence. Starfire raised her hand. "Should I be concerned about that possibility?" Before Batman could respond, Goku's communicator buzzed. A frantic static field transmission. "Goku, it's Slade. He's..." Terra's voice cut in and out. "Beast Boy, he took..." The line died. Every head in the room snapped forward, toward Goku. His fist clenched. "Yeah, change of plans," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "We're not waiting for the kidnapper to come to us." Goku led the Titans in a blazing streak across the night sky, touching at the cliffside where he'd last seen Terra and Beast Boy. The moment they landed, Terra rushed toward them, her face pale with panic. "Slade, he's not human anymore," she gasped, her hands trembling. "He overpowered us like we were nothing. Beast Boy tried to fight him, but..." Her voice trembled. Her voice trembled and cracked. "He took him." Cyborg systems whirred as he scanned the area. No blood from a struggle, no energy traces. Dude made the scene totally clean. Goku's jaw tightened. He'd been reaching out with his senses the whole flight, searching for Beast Boy's familiar key, but there was nothing, just empty static. "He's blocking his energy signature somehow," he muttered. Robin's fist clenched. "How is that even possible?" "I don't know, tech, magic, doesn't matter." Goku said, his usual carefree tone gone. Terra, which way did he go? She pointed toward the glowing skyline of Jump City. He flew that way, but I lost him in the city lights. Raven's cloak billowed as she stepped forward. If Slade's operating at Jump City, he's either arrogant or he wants us to find him. Goku cracked his knuckles, his eyes sharp with focus. Then we shouldn't keep him waiting. The Titans exchanged grim nods. The hunt was about to be on. Goku crossed his arms, his usual easygoing demeanor replaced by unshakable resolve. We split up, cover more ground that way. Cyborg and Raven take the industrial district. Robin and Starfire check the docks. Terra and I will sweep downtown. Robin immediately stepped forward, his voice firm. No. Batman's orders were clear. No splitting up. Not with the kidnapper. This dangerous, targeting metahumans and aliens. If we separate, we're making ourselves targets. Goku met his gaze unwavered. And if we stick together, we lose even more time. Beast Boy could be... He cut himself off, jaw tightening. We don't know how long Slade keeps his prisoners useful. Every minute we waste is a minute closer to losing him for good. The air between them cracked with tension. Cyborg cleared his throat. Look, I get both sides. Goku cut him off. There is no both sides, Goku interrupted, uncharacteristically sharp. This isn't up for debate. Beast Boy's our teammate. We don't leave ours behind. Robin's fist clenched, but before he could argue, Starfire floated between them. Goku is right. But so is Robin. She turned to Goku. We will search in pairs, but we maintain constant comm contact. If anyone finds Slade, they call for backup immediately. No engaging him alone. Goku exhaled, nodding. Fine. But if I see Slade, I'm not waiting. Robin's glare could have melted steel. That's exactly what Batman warned us about. Good thing I don't work for Batman, Goku shot back, already lifting off the ground. Now move fast. With that, the Titans split. Robin's protest swallowed by the wind as Goku scooped up Terra and shot toward the city lights. Time was running out, and Slade was counting on that. Goku and Terra burst into an abandoned warehouse following a tip about suspicious activity. The moment they stepped inside, a hologram of Slade flickered to life. Predictable. As always, the hologram taunted before the room erupted in flames. Goku reacted instantly. He spun, wrapping an arm around Terra and shielding her with his body as the explosion rocked the building. Debris rained down, but Goku powered through it, kicking through a wall and launching them both to safety just as the structure collapsed behind them. Terra coughed, gripping his gi. That was a trap. Goku grinned slightly, dusting himself off. Yeah, no kidding. Before they could regroup, a chain reaction of explosions lit up the surrounding buildings. Windows shattered and alarms blared, and civilians screamed in panic. Goku's eyes narrowed. Slade's not here, and he's distracting us. He tapped his comm. Guys, we've got civilians in trouble, so we're going to stay here to help. But Slade's still out there. Terra was already moving, using her powers to stabilize crumbling structures, as Goku blurred the streets, pulling people from the wreckage. In record-breaking time. The trap had failed, but the real game was just beginning. Robin barely registered the calm chatter of Goku and Terra before a crushing force slammed him into a brick wall, his communicator shattering on the impact. Dazed, he looked up, and there stood Slade, perched on a shipping container at the docks, his single eye gleaming in the moonlight. Oh. Did I wound the little Robin's wing? He mocked, tilting his head. Robin gritted his teeth, reaching for his staff. A searing green starboat screamed through the air, blasting Slade off into the docks and into the churning water below. Starfire landed beside Robin, her eyes flaming. You are unarmed. Robin coughed, nodding. Yeah, thanks. They both turned toward the water, waiting for some type of retaliation. Slade rose from the water with unnatural grace, hovering just above the surface as droplets cascaded off his armor and face. His glowing cybernetic eye locked onto Starfire with eerie fascination. Interesting, he mused, tilting his head. Your starboats are significantly stronger than the doctor's data suggested. That wasn't in your profile. Starfire's fist crackled with emerald energy, her eyes narrowing. You know nothing of my capabilities, Slade. Robin, still gripping his bruised ribs, stiffened. Who the hell is the doctor? Slade ignored him, studying Starfire like a specimen. Truly fascinating. Did you undergo any enhancements, or was this power always lying dormant? Starfire didn't answer, deciding not to mention her power increase from the Tree of Might fruit. Instead, she rocketed toward him with her fists blazing. Slade dodged the inhuman reflexes, but this time her strikes left scorch marks on his armor, something that clearly hadn't happened before. Robin's mind raced. Someone's been compiling data on us. On their powers. And Slade's working with him somehow. The implications were terrifying. Slade blocked another starboat, his arm cannon whirring as it absorbed the impact. No matter, the doctor will adjust his calculations after today. Starfire pressed the attack, forcing Slade backward. You will tell us where Beast Boy is. Slade smirked. Oh, he's safe, for now. His gaze flicked to Robin. But you? You have nothing to offer for his research. And before Robin could react, Slade's wrist launcher fired. Not at Starfire, but at a nearby fuel tank. The explosion forced her to shield Robin. As the fireball from the exploding fuel tank roared outward, Starfire instinctively threw herself right in front of Robin, shielding him from the blast with her own body. The heat seared the air around them, but before she could recover, Slade struck. Sometimes it pays to work smarter, not harder. His voice cut through the smoke. Thwip, thwip, thwip. 3 canisters shattered against Starfire's back, releasing a hissing cloud of sickly green gas. Her eyes widened. She recognized the compound instantly. Xenothium suppressant. Her starboats flickered, her muscles locking up as the gas seeped into her system. She collapsed mid-hover, her body going limp. Robin's blood ran cold. Star! Slade caught her effortlessly before she hit the ground, slinging her over his shoulder like a trophy. His enhanced armor and cybernetics whirled as his thrusters ignited. Don't worry, Robin, he mocked. She'll be perfectly useful where she's going. No, Robin lunged, his sticks crackling, but he was too slow. Slade rocketed into the sky, Starfire's unconscious form dangling in his grip. Robin's scream of fury echoed across the docks, unanswered. Robin's comm was destroyed and the docks were in flames, and now 2 of the Titans were missing. Slade's voice replayed in his mind. The doctor will adjust his calculations. Whoever this doctor was, he wasn't just collecting data. He was responsible for Slade's upgrades. He had to be. And now he had Starfire. Robin's hand shook, not with fear, but with something colder. With something hotter. Rage. Goku had been mid-rescue when he felt a sharp panic spike in Starfire's energy signature, following by nothing, just silence. His blood turned to ice. Everyone, rally at the docks, now! He barked into the comms before blasting off in a white streak. By the time he arrived, the scene was chaos. The docks were still smoldering, fuel tanks burned in the distance, and Robin stood alone in the wreckage with his fists clenched so tight his gloves strained at the seams. The moment Robin saw Goku, his mask couldn't hide the fury that was within his eyes. I told you, Robin snarled, voice trembling with barely restrained rage, that we shouldn't have split up. But you didn't listen, and now we're down another Titan. Goku's stomach dropped. Slade took her? Who do you think? Robin snapped, kicking a chunk of debris hard enough to send it skidding across the water. Of course it was Slade. He knew exactly how to counter her. Used some kind of gas to knock her out before I could even... He cut himself off, jaw working. Goku stood there, the weight of Robin's words crashing into him like a physical blow. He had been so sure splitting up was the right call, faster and more efficient. But now, Beast Boy was gone, and Starfire was gone too now. And it was his fault. Cyborg and Raven arrived moments later, Terra closed behind them. One look at their faces told Goku everything that he needed to know. They were bothered. We need to regroup, Cyborg said, voice uncharacteristically grim. If Slade's grabbing metas, he's not just going to do this for fun. There has to be an endgame behind all of this. Goku didn't answer. For the first time since joining the Titans, he felt the crushing weight of failure. Not just as a fighter, but as a leader. He gambled and his team paid the price. Robin turned away, his voice hollow. You know, Batman was right. Goku didn't argue, because right now, he didn't know if he could trust his own judgment either anymore. Robin clenched his fists. Slade said Starfire's power didn't match the doctor's data. Someone's been studying us, tracking our abilities. Terra's breath hitched. Her face paled as realization struck. Oh my God. I know where they are. Every head snapped toward her. When I was working for Slade, she continued, voice tight with guilt, he would always mention a scientist. Dr. Gero. Some kind of robotics genius. Slade said he was perfecting the future of warfare for mankind against all types of threats. Raven's eyes narrowed. And you didn't think to mention this sooner. I didn't know he was still around, Terra shot back. Slade told me the project was scrapped after his funding was froze by the government because of his ethics. Cyborg System's word as he pulled up a holographic map. If Gero's involved, we're dealing with next level tech. Dude was infamous back in my Star Labs days. Brilliant, but unethical. He disappeared years ago after his android research got shut down. Goku had just been silent until now stepped forward. Where's this lab? Terra swallowed hard. Beneath the old Steelworks factory. It's a front. The real facility's underground. Robin's eyes burned behind his mask. Then that's where we're going. Hold up, Cyborg interjected. If Gero's got data on all of us, he's going to have countermeasures. We can't just rush in. Goku's fist clenched. We don't have time for a plan. Every second we waste, Beast Boy and Starfire are in danger. A tense silence fell. Raven was the one who broke it. Then we do both. We move now, or we move smart. Goku met her gaze, then nodded. Fine, let's just hurry. They wouldn't stop until their squad was whole again. The Titans stood atop the abandoned Steelworks factory, the rush metal groaning under their feet. Robin scanned the area, his mind racing through infiltration strategies, stealthy entry, hacking security, disabling alarms. Then Terra smirked. Sometimes, she said, cracking her knuckles, you just have to break things for results. Before anyone could react, she stomped her foot and the ground trembled, then split. A jagged chasm tore open beneath them, concrete and steel screaming as the earth itself peeled apart like paper. The hidden roof of Gero's lab buckled, then collapsed inward, revealing a sprawling, high-tech facility that was below. Robin stared. Or we could do that. Goku grinned, clapping Terra on the shoulder. See? I knew my advice would come in handy someday. Cyborg whistled as alarms blared below. Well, subtlety's dead. Hope you guys like company. Raven's cloak billowed as she floated at the edge of the fissure. I'm sure they already knew we were coming. Sure enough, a battalion of sleek humanoid drones surged from the exposed lab, their red optics locking onto the Titans. Goku simply cracked his neck. Let's make this quick. And with that, the Titans dropped into the fray. The Titans moved like a well-oiled machine, cutting through Gero's drone army with ruthless efficiency. Cyborg sonic cannons sent the first wave flying, their metal frames crumpling like tin cans. Raven's dark energy crushed another group into scrap, while Terra destabilized the ground beneath a cluster of bots, causing them to collapse into a sinkhole that closed up and made twisted wiring out of them. But there were too many. Dozens of more poured from hidden hatches, their red optics glowing ominously in the dim lab light. We don't have time for this, Goku barked, dodging a laser blast. Raven, just shield everyone. Without hesitation, Raven threw her hands forward. A massive dome of black energy encased the Titans, just as the drones unleashed a barrage of plasma fire. Outside the barrier, Goku planted his feet, his hands cupping at his sides as blue energy emanated from his body. The air itself seemed to vibrate as he gathered power, his muscles steaming with the effort. Goku thrust his hands forward. Explosive wave! The explosion of raw ki tore through the remaining drones like some type of blue supernova, reducing them to molten slag in an instant. The shockwave rattled the entire facility, sending sparks raining from the ceiling. Silence fell, save for the distant hum of emergency systems kicking on. Robin wiped soot from his mask. Well, that worked. Goku exhaled, shaking out his wrist. Now, let's find our friends before this Gero tries something else. The team pressed forward, stepping over the smoldering wreckage. The real fight was still ahead. The Titans surged forward, ready to breach the lab's inner sanctum until the reinforced blast door slid open with a hiss. Slade stood framed in the doorway, his mask absent for the first time, revealing the scarred face of a man who had cheated death so many times. His cybernetic eye glowed crimson through his black eye patch. In the dim light, his mouth set in a cold smirk. "You've gone far enough," he said, his voice echoing through the chamber. "I'm going to put you all in cells right next to your friends, or at least those of you that are useful." Every Titan tense, battle ready, Cyborg's cannon charge. Raven's dark energy swirled. Terra's fist clenched at her sides as debris began to move. But before they could move, Goku stepped forward, his usual grin replaced by a look of deadly focus. "You guys handle the prisoners," he said, never taking his eyes off Slade. "I've got this." Robin's head snapped toward him. "Goku, we don't have time for solo fights." "We don't have time to argue here," Goku shot back. "Slade's not just some mercenary anymore. He's upgraded. He's probably one of Dr. Joe's androids. And if we all fight him at once, people are going to get hurt." His jaws tightened. "And I can't allow that to happen." The weight of his words hung in the air. His failure to protect Beast Boy and Starfire were fresh in his mind. This wasn't just about winning. It was about rescuing the hostages. Slade chuckled, rolling his shoulders. "Confident, aren't you? The doctor's enhancements have made me stronger than you could even imagine." Goku's fist ignited with blue ki. "Yeah, prove it." A beat of silence, then, "Go!" Goku roared. The Titans didn't hesitate. They rushed past Slade, diving deeper into the lab as Goku and the mercenary lunged at each other in a blur of motion. The final battle was about to begin. Goku's first punch should have ended it. His fist rocketed towards Slade's jaw with enough force to shatter steel, but Slade caught it. The impact sent a shockwave rocking through the lab, cracking monitors and sending loose debris skittering across the floor, and Goku's eyes widened. "Surprised?" Slade smirked, his cybernetic eye whirling as if it calculated Goku's next movements. "The doctor's work is revolutionary." Goku didn't answer. He twisted, diving a knee into Slade's ribs, only for the mercenary to pivot, countering with an elbow that sent Goku skidding back 3 feet. The Saiyan's blood buzzed with something he hadn't felt a long time on Earth. Challenge. They collided again, fists and kicks moving faster than the human eye could track. Every strike Goku threw, Slade matched. Every feint, every burst of speed. The mercenary anticipated it, his enhancements bridging the gap between human and superhuman. A roundhouse kick from Goku shattered the support column. Slade retaliated by grabbing a fallen steel beam and swinging it like a bat, forcing Goku to block with crossed arms. The impact cratered the wall behind him. "It seems I'm not the only one who's gotten stronger," Slade taunted, flexing his augmented fingers. "But the real question is, can you adapt as fast as me?" Goku wiped his mouth, grinning despite himself. "Oh, I'm just getting started." The lab trembled as their battle reignited, neither willing to yield, neither holding back. And deep in the facility, the Titans raced against time, the echoes of their leader's fight, reminding them how urgent freeing everyone truly was. Goku's eyes flickered to the trembling ceiling support beams, growing as cracks spiderwebbed across the laboratory walls. One more direct hit, and the entire facility could possibly collapse on his team and the prisoners that were below. "Yeah, no thanks," he muttered. In a flash, he ducked under Slade's next punch, grabbed his ankle, and with a grunt, hurled him upward like a missile. The mercenary crashed through 3 layers of reinforced concrete before bursting into the open air, moonlight glinting off his armor. Goku didn't wait. He shot after him in a blue streak, bursting through the roof just as Slade stabilized midair. "Thoughtful," Slade sneered, brushing debris off his shoulder. "But a mistake, because out here, I don't have to hold back either." His wrist cannons unfolded, humming with charged energy. Goku cracked his neck, rolling his shoulders. "Yeah, neither do I." The sky above the steelworkers' factory became their battleground. 2 blurs of motion, clashing with enough force to send shockwaves ripping across all of Jump City. Below, the Titans pressed forward, the tremors from above a constant reminder. Their leader was buying them some time. The two warriors broke apart, skidding to a halt atop neighboring factory rooftops. The night air hummed with residual energy as Slade reached over his shoulder, fingers curling around the hilt of one of his twin swords that were on his back, and with a metallic shing, the blade slid free, its edge glinting coldly under the pale moonlight. "Enough games," Slade growled, his voice now carrying a mechanical edge. His cybernetic eye became visible as he removed his eye patch. It pulsed red as systems activated across his armor. "You no longer face Slade anymore. You face the Red Ribbon Division's finest model, Deathstroke." Goku's eyes narrowed. The name meant nothing to him, but the sudden shift in Slade's presence was undeniable. The mercenary's stance was tighter, deadlier, his movements now synchronized with the faint whir of hidden machinery that was beneath his skin. "Weapon upgrades, huh?" Goku smirked, rolling his shoulders. "I guess that means I have to go all out." Deathstroke didn't even respond. Instead, he moved faster than before, his blade carving through the air in a silver arc aimed straight for Goku's throat. Goku barely dodged, feeling the wind of the slash against his skin. This wasn't just a fight anymore. It was a death battle. The Titans moved swiftly through the sterile white corridors of Jiro's labs, their footsteps echoing against the cold metal floors. Raven's dark energy pulsed as she ripped open sealed containment pods one by one, freeing disoriented metahumans and aliens alike who gasped for air. Cyborg's optics scanned each face, his jaws tightening with an unfamiliar one. "No sign of Beast Boy or Starfire yet," he muttered, helping a trembling young woman with glowing purple veins to her feet. Robin's eskrima sticks crackled as he disabled security turrets. He wouldn't keep them with the others. Slade isolated them on purpose. Terra's hands trembled as she forced open another pod, her voice barely above a whisper. "Then that means we go deeper." A sudden thud reverberated through the facility. Goku and Deathstroke's battle, shaking the very foundations below. Dust rained from the ceiling as Raven steadied herself against the wall. "I think we're running out of time," she warned. Cyborg's HUD flared to life, mapping the facility's schematics. "There's a high security wing below us. If they're anywhere, it's there." Without another word, the Titans charged forward, their resolve hardening with every step. Somewhere in the depths of this nightmare, their comrades were waiting, and nothing, not steel, science experiments, or Slade himself, was going to stop them from freeing them. Goku launched a searing blue ki blast straight at Deathstroke, only for the mercenary to twist his blade in a lightning-fast arc. The sword split the energy wave clean in half, with the two halves dissipating harmlessly into the night sky, leaving nothing but blue light particles. "What the?" Goku barely had time to process before Deathstroke was already moving forward again. The android enhanced warrior lunged, his armored boot slamming into Goku's ribs with enough force to send him rocketing back down through the shattered factory roof. Goku crashed through multiple floors of the lab, steel and concrete exploding around him before he finally skidded to a stop, to a ruined test chamber. Dust swirled as Goku coughed, pushing himself up. His gi was beginning to be torn. His muscles were aching from the impact, and he wiped his mouth, staring up at the hole he had just made. "Okay, that's new." Deathstroke descended slowly through the wreckage, his sword gleaming. "Disappointed, huh?" he taunted. "The doctor engineered this alloy to withstand energy attacks, so your blast will be useless." Goku grinned, cracking his knuckles. "Good thing I'm more than just blasts." He shot upward, fist ready, because if his blast didn't work, then he'd just have to get more creative. The underground lab was in ruins around them, sparks raining from shattered consoles as Goku and Deathstroke circled each other. Blood dripped from shallow cuts along Goku's arms and torso. Each one was a testament of Slade's lethal precision with the blade, but the Saiyan's grin never wavered. Then Slade overextended, a fraction of an opening, a split-second mistake. Goku seized it, his hand shot out, twisting Slade's wrist with brutal efficiency before wrenching the sword free. The blade clattered to the ground, but Slade didn't hesitate. In another fluid motion, he drew his second katana, its edge humming with faint vibration. Goku scooped up the fallen sword, twirling it experimentally before settling into a stance that made Slade's cyber eye narrow in recognition. You should know, Goku said, his voice uncharacteristically cold. I was trained by Raj Al Ghul himself when I was younger. A beat of silence, then clang. Their swords met in a shower of sparks, the force of collision shaking the room. Slade's mechanical eye whirred, recalculating. You're full of surprises, he admitted, pushing back. I, too, was a student of the League of Assassins, before they deemed me unworthy. Goku didn't respond. He didn't need to. Every parry, every counter-strike was a brutal reminder of what Roz had taught him in combat. He taught him to dismantle, and for the first time since the battle began, Slade realized that he might be outmatched. Steel shrieked as their swords clashed again and again, sending sparks erupting like fireworks in the ruined lab. Goku and Deathstroke became blurs of motion, ricocheting off walls, flipping over shattered machinery, their blades carving glowing after images through smoke-filled air. Every impact sent tremors through the facility. Support beams were groaning as the two warriors used them as springboards, kicking off with enough force to dent the metal. A stray slash bisected a computer bank, sending molten wiring spraying. Another gouged a 5-foot trench across the floor. Slade's mechanical eye tracked Goku's movements with inhuman precision. But the Saiyan was adapting, mixing Raj Al Ghul's lethal swordsmanship with his own unpredictable brawling style. He ducked under a decapitating strike, rolling across a console and sprang off the ceiling to deliver a downward slash that forced Slade to block with both of his hands on the hilt. You fight like a violent storm, Slade gritted out. Funny, Goku shot back, flipping away as Slade's counter-strike split the ground where he stood. Talia used to tell me the same thing. They lunged simultaneously, blades meeting mid-air with a clang that shattered the remaining glass that was in the room. Somewhere below, the Titans froze as the entire structure shuddered. We need to move faster, Robin hissed, because above them, two monsters were tearing the lab apart. Cyborg's fingers flew across the lab's central console, his cybernetic interface overriding security protocols. I can trigger a mass release of the stasis pods except for two, he growled. Those two have to be Starfire and Beast Boy cells. They must be manually locked. Slade must have flagged them as manual on purpose. Robin didn't hesitate. I'll go get Starfire. Terra's hands clenched. Yeah, and I'll go get after Beast Boy. The facility trembled violently as another shockwave from Goku and Slade's battle rocketed the foundations. Raven's eyes glowed as she spread her arms, dark energy surging from her fingertips. I'll reinforce this entire structure. But hurry, I won't be able to hold it forever. With the final keystroke, Cyborg initiated the emergency release. Dozens of pods hissed open across the lab, freed captives gasping as they stumbled out. Go, he barked. I'll guide the civilians out and keep comms open. Robin sprinted down the east corridor, following Cyborg's coordinates to Starfire's containment unit. Terra bolted west, her heart pounding as she navigated the maze corridors towards Beast Boy's known location. Above them, Raven levitated with her cloak billowing as she channeled her magic. Cracks in the walls sealed with inky tendrils and shadows, groaning metal beams froze mid-collapse. Sweat beaded on her brow, every second stretched her limits further. Robin, you're 20 meters from Starfire's pod, Cyborg crackled in their earpieces. Terra, Beast Boy's cell is at the end of the northwest hall, but there's heavy security. Terra skidded forward a corner just as 3 gun turrets unfolded from the ceiling. She barely had time to raise an earthen shield before they opened fire. Time was running out, but they were determined to succeed. Goku pressed forward, his sword strikes driving Slade toward the ruined wall of the lab. The mercenary armor was getting more and more dented. His movements were slowing. Victory was within reach. Then Slade smirked. Jiro didn't just choose me for my strength. He rasped, his cybernetic eye flashing red. He also chose me for my tactics. With the sharp hiss, canisters embedded in his gauntlets detonated, flooding the room with thick metallic gray smoke. Goku's senses recoiled, his key senses useless against an android. He wouldn't be able to sense any android. His vision reduced to a swirling gray. Crap. He braced, sword raised, listening for the faintest sound, a scrape of a boot against debris, the whisper of a blade cutting air, and clang! Goku barely parried in time, the force of Slade's surprise strike knocking him back. Another slash came from his blind spot, slashing him across the shoulder. Goku gritted his teeth, swinging wide to force space between them. You rely too much on your senses, Goku, Slade's voice echoed, directionless in the haze. Let's see if you can adapt to this assault before you die. Goku exhaled, centering himself. If he couldn't see or sense Slade, how would he counter in time? He closed his eyes and began to think. The smoke swirled thick around Goku, but his mind was clear. He focused on the memory of one of Raj Al Ghul's final lessons. A blade is just a tool, the demon's head had said, his voice echoing through the ancient training halls of Nanda Parbat. The true weapon is the warrior himself. Steel can break, flesh can heal, and the will to strike creates the living warrior. For a man's will is what separates the living from the dead. Goku's hands loosed around the sword hilt. Clang! The blade hit the ground. Slade's strike came like a viper, silent, lethal, aiming to cleave Goku from shoulder to hip. But the moment the sword entered Goku's space, his ki erupted. A shockwave of blue energy burst outward, shredding the smoke like paper. The sudden wind revealed Slade mid-swing, his single eye widening in the split second before Goku's palms clapped together, trapping the blade between them, and then snap! The reinforced alloy shattered like glass. Before Slade could react, Goku spun the broken blade in his grip and rammed it forward, not at Slade's heart, not at his throat, but straight into the central power node of his cybernetic chest plate. Zzz. Sparks exploded as the metal pierced whirled. Slade gasped, his system short-circuiting. Before Goku's follow-up kick launched him across the room, the mercenary cratered into the far wall, armor spitting erratic pulses of red light. As sparks escaped it, and debris began to fall on top of him, Goku exhaled, rolling his shoulders. I guess you did have an off switch. Slade twitched, his human eye burning with fury, but his limbs refused to respond. The fight appeared to be over, and somewhere in the depths of the collapsing lab, the Titan's comms cracked with Cyborg's voice. Got him. Everyone move. This place is coming down. We'll meet you outside, Goku. Goku turned toward the sound. Guess it's time to go home. Goku stepped out of the crumbling facility, grinning as he saw his team. Starfire and Beast Boy, freed, the rescued subjects being tended to by Cyborg and Raven, the dawn light painting the sky in soft hues. The nightmare seemed to be finally over. Now we can all go home, he said, relief warming his voice. But Terra's sharp gasp cut through the moment. Her eyes locked onto a flicker of movement, a glint of metal in the rubble. Slade's remaining functional arm, holding his remaining sword, heading straight for Goku's back. And Goku couldn't sense it. There was no time to shout, no time to warn. So Terra moved. She lunged in front of Goku, just as metal was about to meet flesh. The world seemed to freeze. One moment Goku was standing victorious, his team safe, the dawn breaking over the ruins of Jiro's lab. The next, Terra was gasping as her body went rigid as Slade's signature sword erupted from her chest, revealing a spray of crimson. Time slowed. Beast Boy's scream was raw, inhuman. Terra! Starfire's hands flew to her mouth. Cyborg systems blared alarms. Raven's magic flickered like a dying flame. And Goku, he moved. Terra collapsed backward, but Goku caught her before she hit the ground, his arms trembling as her blood seeped into his torn gi. Her breath came in wet, shallow gasp, her blue eyes wide with shock. Why? Goku's voice was a broken thing, his usual confidence shattered. Why would you? Terra coughed, staining her lips red. "You gave me a second chance," she whispered. "Had to pay it forward." Behind them, Slade's broken form chuckled when Terra's fingers went slack and Goku's gripped. And Goku's rage ignited. The ground beneath him cracked, his white aura exploding outward in a maelstrom of raw power. The sky darkened, the very air vibrating as screams of grief shook the ruins. "Goku," Robin shouted, but it was too late. The rational Saiyan was gone. Only vengeance was in his eyes. Terra's body went limp in Goku's arms. Her final breath escaping. Terra's body went limp in Goku's arms, her final breath escaping in a whisper. The world seemed to hold its breath until Slade's broken, staticky laughter cackled through the ruins. "You know," Slade wheezed, his cybernetics sparking, "I really wanted to kill the leader, but I'll settle for the traitor as a good replacement." Goku's hands trembled, and then they stopped. A terrible stillness settled over him. Slowly he laid Terra down, closed her eyes with a gentleness that bellied the storm that was inside him. And when he stood, his back to the Titans, the air itself seemed to warp around him. "Goku," Robin started, stepping forward. "It's over. He's done. I know this is hard, but the League will lock him away for good." Slade mocked them. "I'll just get out, and then I'll get better upgrades afterwards, and then I'll kill some more of you." And Goku glared at the villain. His footsteps caused debris to rise as he walked towards Slade. Each one measured, deliberate. His aura wasn't dark anymore. It was a raging blue, a swirling void of rage, cerulean rage, so deep it choked the moonlight from the sky. Slade, even half crushed and broken, felt it. The smugness drained from his face slightly as his sensors picked up on this energy spike. "You." Goku's hand snapped, gripping Slade's throat and lifting him off the ground. The mercenary gagged, his remaining cybernetic arms scrabbling uselessly at Goku's iron grip. "Goku, stop!" Cyborg yelled. "This isn't you." But it was. This was the part of him he'd locked away since when he had slain King Piccolo. The part Raj Al Ghul had tried to hone. The part that he told him he had within him. The part that understood that some men did not deserve mercy. Slade's eyes bulged, his kicks growing weaker. "You don't have the guts," he choked out. Goku dropped Slade to the floor, and it seemed that he was right. It seemed that he was spared. Until Goku's other hand ignited with blue ki, the energy hissing like a live wire. The Titans lunged, but they were too late. The blast lit up the area like a dying star, and when the light faded, Slade was gone. Not arrested, not imprisoned. Vaporized. And so was the laboratory that Jiro had as well. And Goku spoke to no one in particular. "Yeah, no more upgrades for you." Then Goku stood amid the ashes, his fists smoking, his eyes were empty of any type of regret. The silence that followed was deafening. The smell of ionized air and charred metal clung to the air as the Titans stood frozen from what they just witnessed, staring at the smoldering crater where Slade had once been. Goku's back remained turned to them. His shoulders were rigid, his fists still clenched at his sides. The whitish blue aura that usually radiated warmth and energy was just gone, replaced by a hollow stillness that felt more terrifying than any of his outbursts. Robin was the first to break the silence. His voice was raw, emotional, torn between fury, disbelief, and remorse. "I know what Slade did was evil. I know he deserved to pay. But he was defeated. Goku, we were supposed to take him in. We were supposed to be better than him." His shout echoed across the battlefield. But Goku didn't flinch. For a long moment there was no response. Then quietly Goku spoke. Not to Robin, not to the team, but to the wind. I should have done it sooner. His voice was eerily calm, devoid of its usual energy. If I had, Terra would still be here. Finally, he turned to face them, his eyes usually so full of fiery determination. They were dark and empty. The weight of his words settled over the group like a physical blow. You know, I never wanted to be a hero, he admitted, his gaze drifting over each of them. Starfire, her eyes glistening with unushed tears. Cyborg's jaw was tight with conflict, and Beast Boy was streaked with grief, distraught at everything that had just happened. Raven, her usual stoicism cracked with a deeper frown, and Robin stood rigid, his fist trembling at his sides. And Goku continued, Yeah, I never wanted to be a leader either, but I did like the friends I made along the way. He exhaled, long and slow, as if letting go of something that was precious to him. But now, I could see clearly. I don't want to be a hero, and I never really wanted to be in the beginning. And I don't want to be a Titan. And I don't want to join a league. Beast Boy's breath hitched. Goku. But I do need to get stronger, Goku continued, cutting him off. Strong enough so that nothing like this will ever happen again. And with that, he turned away, with his face fixed toward the sky. Wait! Starfire reached out, but it was too late. Goku's knees bent slightly, his aura flickered once, showing a fading blue before he launched into the sky with a thunderous boom. The force of his takeoff sent dust and debris scattering, forcing the Titans to shield their eyes. And by the time they looked up, he was already a speck in the distance. Then nothing. No dramatic farewell, no lingering words, just an empty sky where their leader, their friend, had once been. Robin's hand slowly unclenched. He's gone. Cyborg Systems whirred softly, as if scanning for a signal that was no longer there. Yeah. Beast Boy sank to his knees beside Terra's body, his fingers brushing her hair from her face. What do we do now? No one had an answer. And that's where I'm going to end it, man. I hope you guys liked it, man. You know, I had to end on a dark ending. I had to make Goku leave. This is his departure from the Teen Titans. As you all know, our boy Goku never really wanted to be a hero. So comment down below what you guys think of this. Like, subscribe, all that, man. Till next time, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Peace.